Welcome everybody. How are we all doing? Guess what? It's another Sunday. It's the final Sunday of Conqueror's Blade 2025. This is the penultimate one. I was going to say the penultimate was yesterday, but the final is going to be commencing. And it is actually going to be the best of the West versus the best of the East here. And it's going to be, yeah, buddy, up against ZT, who were performing yesterday up against Why So Serious and managed to convincingly beat them off as well to get to this stage. And obviously, yeah, buddy beat Why So Serious to get there to this stage as well. So the fact that their game got withdrawn as well, they didn't get to see what their performance would have been up against one of the sides here over on the east side. But instead, they're just going to have to perform here on the big stage. The grand finale is about to commence. Brother, are you excited for it?
I'm super excited to see them fighting it out today. You can't even imagine how hyped I am about them facing them. And I'm so on it. Please, West, win this. Get this home, yeah, buddy. Show them what we are made of on the western side of this world and this game. So I'm super hyped. I'm super stoked for what is going to happen today. And it's a lot going on. You can point up both your fingers right now, Markov G, to showcase at least the gift code in the beginning already. Because there we can see the gift code. It's not much. It's a treaty, I guess, again. So, but just grab it. It's for free. We don't judge free stuff. So that's it. And then we can already talk about the pick and bans.
Yeah, exactly. Let's head over to the pick and bans where you get to see what both teams have decided they are going to ban and pick for the maps. For example, Healing Fjord and Walfort is the exact same ban and picks that they picked against. Why so serious? They obviously like Walfort. They'll be looking to see what they can do up against Yeah Buddy this time out, though. That's going to be an interesting scenario. On the other hand, Yeah Buddy decides to ban Harbour City. And this time, they're deciding to go for a map pick of Regionopolis. Definitely against what I'm expecting to see Yeah Buddy playing, but maybe they have been looking at maybe what ZT have been playing in the previous maps up matches and not seen what they were good at. Maybe find something different to kind of throw them off a little bit. It's definitely an interesting choice. Going into the bands and picks, so for these units, brother, talk us through all these bands, and then we'll see what you think. The reasoning behind the picks and bands.
ZT banned Spartan, Chosen, Siphonario, and Dagger X lenses, and they picked the Falconetti Gunners. Siphonarius being really well or often picked by Yearbuddy, so I think Dunkel has like a relationship with the Siphonarius. So he always was picking them if it was available for him. So that's like a target pick already that can be seen, I think, in my, or at least in my opinion, from ZT side here. Then Yearbuddy is banning Challenging Grenadiers, Coteliers, and the Phalanx guys, and picked on the Socalia militia. So at least some fire is gonna be spread today, and so we gotta get our good and well-deserved barbecue in the end, or maybe they're just picking it to get the opponent to think they're gonna use them, but in the end they don't gonna bring them. Falconetti Gunners being like a usual pick for Walfort there, but also playing for tower denial there is not gonna happen. So I think it's more about bridge and then maybe tower denial to press the enemy into attacking gate and breach. We saw the same map yesterday against Vice Series, so I think Yearbuddy and so Dunkel paid a lot of attention to yesterday's match, so they are already well aware of what could happen to them today. And then looking into Regionopolis, it's gonna be a mix of something before. CT always uses like 4 to 5 units usually, and Yearbuddy did this before, so I think they're gonna be well aware of what's gonna hit them today, and therefore picking their unit strategy around it. So I expect both teams to bring at least 4 unit sets to the battlefield and go for a lot of engagements, because as further we went into the finals here and into this tournament, less mortar combat we saw, and that's something I'm really interested in. Into more fights, more units clashing it out. We maybe see our poison pikes again going like big again. Then I gonna really laugh and enjoy it seeing them. But Walford is going to be our first match, and therefore I expect some line roars there. For sure, the new T5 archers, because they are not banned right now. So them being used on the B stairway there, all the way up to heaven. I don't know who was the architect behind this, but building stairs going so far up on the hillside. Yeah, fuck's sake, if you're up there, you're already tired. You don't gonna go pew pew anymore. But then still very viable unit there, and therefore that's what I'm expecting. What do you expect from the teams to bring to the table?
Well, another one that you said, they officially said they've not banned the tier 5 archers. They've also not banned the healing archers. So, I mean, that's been coming into play quite a lot throughout CBL2025 as well. And I'm assuming they're all going to be brought to the fray for this battle because, you know, extra healing is always a benefit for your side, because if you're pushing and making these pushes, the more healing you've got going on, if you've got long swords working aside it, your units will stay alive for longer in these battles, and maybe that'll make you win the trade in units. And maybe that's what they'll be bringing into that as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we're going to get. It is definitely going to be an exciting matchup for sure. And I'm hoping myself as well, just being from that western side, yeah, buddy, do show us some good matches here and actually bring it to that eastern side, because eastern, I'm sure the last time out, yeah, buddy fell second place, didn't they? Last time they faced against an eastern side. Unfortunately, I can't remember who it was against. I don't even know if it's the same side, actually. Was it, Bruder? Do you have that knowledge? If
It's
you remember.
I think that was a team YYY. So
Ah, yeah, so it was.
and they went last year for the good old Dunkel new strategy to deny them on trebuchets on Orgolia, which was not like maybe the gameplay, because on Orgolia you normally just shoot down the turrets and chill your A off, on the walls and be like, oh, you're never gonna touch me. You're never gonna get here, because it's a very defender-friendly map, as everybody's aware, and has to struggle on ranked matches trying to attack this one.
Oh,
And but then he went for the Trebuchet Destroyer and getting the enemies, giving them basically the way up to the walls, and then he lost the fight on the walls. So very ballsy play, very like memey in my opinion, but it wasn't the play. Just
No.
based on what I think would be done there, and didn't work out for him in the end. But I expect him this year to play very on point, just getting everything right and trying his best to come out victorious, despite not having like the biggest rewards in the end waiting for him. But it's about the honor, in my opinion, also. So being crowned the best of the best,
Yeah.
and not even just in the West, or now starting to rap here, no problem. And I think that's basically what is the driving emotion for him right now. It's the honor and the thing to be crowned the best. Him being the proud man with the wooden spoon, us explaining how tactics are working out here.
Yeah, definitely. What's actually at stake then, brother? So obviously the best to be saying that you're the crowned champion. Is it a prize pool for this one as well between these two sides, or is this just
It's
to
some
see who is
basic rewards, basically. It's you're fighting for the region. That's the first thing. So you're not gonna get something directly for your team, but the whole region is getting treaties or a treaty.
Ooh.
So if you're winning this one, or if Yabadi would win, whole Europe would get like one treaty. So going up, if we would be like 50,000 people online or registered, everybody would get 50. So one treaty, so would be 50,000 treaties. And that's a lot, in my opinion, just based on coverage of everybody, not individual reward. And the other thing is going to be a personal display of the team, or the team photo coming to everybody. So they're going to be shown to everybody for the eternal winner they are, and the giga chats they're going to be.
Yeah, well, certainly. Well, hopefully we'll get to see a really nice battle between the both sides, and we'll see if they actually have the standards to do what they want to do. Like they didn't manage to fail. Well, they did fail on last time in 2024, but I'm hoping that Junko, like you said, has got the strategies already sorted and knows the way he's going to try and counter the opposition. ZT have been looking very strong throughout. They have dropped the map though to European side, and that was why so serious yesterday. So it is possible, even though they did beat their counterparts PEE prior to that matchup 3-0 quite convincingly. PEE obviously withdrawn from it, so we didn't get to see what they were up against when they played against Yebuddy or for that option. So we can't really determine if Yebuddy was going to go on and beat them, and to see what the difference was. That would have gave us a little bit better idea of what these two teams will be like against one another. But obviously, just basing off of the Why So Serious performances, yeah, but he did win 3-0. ZT did drop a map. So therefore, statistically, on paper, it looks like yeah, buddy have that stronger side, but there is no guarantee because why series so serious throughout this tournament have played them 3 separate times, and all 3 times they've lost to yeah, buddy, but they've been closer matches as well. So they have dropped maps against why so serious as well. So it is going to be really interesting if that is going to be a back and forward between these two sides. Is it going to go 1-for-1 in both sets of matches, attack and defense, whether it's the win on the defense and then we go to see at game 5? It's going to be an interesting, and definitely hearing a ping in the back corner of my ear, and it just totally distracted me there. Sorry. It must be me. I was saying it was something on the other side, but it must be my phone convincingly trying to distract me here, brother, from what is at stake here between these two massive sides. And yeah, I'm hoping we're going to have the most fantastic match and grand final possible. If it goes to distance, it goes to distance. It would be even more exciting if it went to the distance. What do you see in terms of prediction for this matchup then?
Oh, it's gonna be a really hard one. I wasn't that much aware of what happened on CT side, so I gonna aim for 5 rounds in total. So this gonna end on grasslands, in my opinion. So we already jumping into the unit screen here, and we're seeing like a little different approach from CT than last time, because based on Star Wars not being banned, therefore a lot of Star Wars are shown here as the major unit being used. Very strong right now, very, very viable. Yeah, Buddy is picking some Rattan pikemen again, some Kokos, so gonna be Kokos and sergeants for the main pushes, some Yan Yudao on the right side for Yeah Buddy. Left side CT, we're gonna see some Yan Yudaos. We're seeing some different cuff there being used, and then Kokos and Star Wars all over the place again. Some green units all over it again. So Yeah Buddy using less units models in total from the first point of view I'm having here, and CT using a way more diverse unit setup.
Yeah, I
So
mean, it's going to be interesting going into it. You can see on ZT side, they brought a lot of cavalry for once they obviously get through that first set of walls and then through the gate because it's very much open field day onto War C. Once you get inside, that is where you're going to see flanks from supply points. You're going to see the chance to try and get onto War C. And then hopefully you're getting towards home point as well, where it's very open space as well. So using as much of the defensive structures, trying to take out the either the trebs in this one could be very crucial, or even siege towers, making sure they don't actually manage to make it to the wall, which is a very difficult task to be done. But with Falconet as being a picked unit and able to be done, it might be the option as we do fly into the map. And you will see all of ZT with all the cavalry units looking to send their heroes over towards that small fort side onto our left of the screen. There we see if they're going to get onto the wall, try and make a way across towards B for free, pretty much, and using the archers in range to just distract the Yeah Buddy heroes and make sure that they will drop back a little bit as they have done. So, will they be able to destroy that gate, that bridge in time, or will these heroes all manage to make it across? Going to commit to it and definitely going to get across if they fully commit this. But there is a unit of pike on the other side. Amia is like, right, I'll force it here. I'll make sure we're there. They'll send a trap towards that tall tower, like you says, the archway to the gateway to heaven is almost getting breached there with the units. But heroes, they're not risking going across and falling to Rat and Pikes and the units down below because it's a risky play. But that bridge might actually be taken down before they even get there. That's the plan anyway. If you're Yeah Buddy.
there's a trap already coming. I think Yeah Buddy is going to be aware of it happening. One guy already there chasing down again for the
Go,
Falcos
go,
with the
go, go, go! They're in. The trip
chains.
missed as well.
Ooh, that's going close because they are already pressuring the Falcos, so the bridge is not going to be destroyed in
Oh
time.
God.
Them pulling up all the units into B, but now CT is looking like they're retreating. Oh, yep, that's it for them. Just wanted to have like a small clash there, and now retreating back to the point. Trap is hitting some units at least there, and therefore that was just the first beginning of a lot of fights we're gonna see this time. So
I was actually surprised there's ZT in that position. I felt like they could just go all the way up the stairwell. They're not having much to face against. Yeah, there was units retreating and coming back towards them from that wall on the other side. But you've got Trebs, you're on the wall, you're not B, you had the opportunity to go towards B. Why not go on and do that? I feel like the trade wise, if you pull up the units just now and look at that trades, yeah, it's not really majorly traded out in terms of units. Yeah, but he still have the advantage in both tier 5 and tier 4 units. And for the most part, I don't think that's really affected Yeah Buddy too much. They will obviously not be able to get the chance to break that bridge, but unless somebody's going to pull out a little bit of cover and just to kind of destroy that, ZT is still there, making sure that they are stopping anything that might be potentially built with their own culverin on the bridge as well. But Siege Tower will be taken down for the first one, so that's going to stop them from getting up there quickly. Rossetti is very an aggressive style of play, and I like this fact that that's like that because the more attacks that we see, the more fights we get to see in the battlefield is always more beneficial for us watching, keeping that excitement going as the next Siege Tower does fall. You can see that all three Siege Towers have not managed to make it so far. And now ZT are going to start using the use of mortars down below that wall. Now looking to try and find units that maybe are hiding behind that building on top. The heroes of ZT are finally going to make. Are they going to make it? They're just baiting me to say it. They're going to make their way towards B, but they're waiting on their team. They're waiting on the rest of their players before they go up, so they don't get caught off one by one. And they will start making their way towards B. Getting B early on opens up C straight away, and you got a chance to kind of force Yeah Buddy onto the walls right in the way of all of the trebs. Instead, they decide to go for these culverins because they know that has taken out that bridge. The chance to fight out these heroes as well. With the units beside, surely Yeah Buddy decide, right, okay, we give that up here. We're not taking this fight. And they will start to lose B here. In that meantime, the siege towers will start to be pushed again. So that's been the distraction. As if you've got units on the wall now as well, if you're ZT, yeah, but he surely doesn't defend the walls.
Yep. Sitting here on B. Yeah, buddy is looking into maybe pushing them back there, but I don't know. They're already retreating on it. So not gonna be. CT also just taking B and then retreating again. So just looking softly into it. Breach is not gonna be destroyed anytime soon, which is kindly odd in my opinion. There's some Cuff already trying to flank there, catching some people off guard, but he was catched. The good old phalanx in the gate maybe should rotate a little bit more into gate to capture such units. Falco is staying all the way in the back there, shooting on the turret in the middle. But on the right side, the turret we are currently seeing that should hit the walls, and I expect them to let it go through. Based on yep.
I was going to say this has been a very, very, very strange battle so far. They've captured B. They've got up on that wall. They decide, right, we're going to go back down towards the siege towers. It gives them added time, which is a bonus. But why not use that position? Why not use your area of height up there with units? Get your units on the wall. Make that distraction. Stop them from taking out your siege towers. That being said, though, that siege tower won't be too far away, and I don't think there's going to be enough damage done to it in this quick time. That will be reaching, the furthest left will be the first opportunity for ZT to get towards a. Yeah, but I've wasted about a bit of time, but not enough time, I feel like, in the grand scheme of this battle, because ZT will get a free passage on towards A. That'll take it to almost 10 minutes, depending on how long they decide to take to go up that siege tower. They try to pull in that treb as well, just to distract the heroes and move them away, but nobody really cares too much to get out of the way, because most of it hits that wall and that small tower just on top there. Suddenly, how that survived the treb, I'm actually really surprised, considering.
And we have a look at the trebuchets available for the attackers right now. They are still there, so they didn't shot them while we're not looking there. So, but it looks like that Yerbuddy is actually planning on defending on A based on their setup right now and them being really close on A. So that's new and odd in my opinion, but like I said before, that's the good old Dunkel doing something you don't expect them maybe to do, or doing something new. And that's what we want to see every CBL, basically not seeing the same fights happening strategy wise over and over again. So people need to adapt and look into what's happening. Oop, the placement of mortar combat happening there immediately, showcasing how many mortars they have still left. 20 artist pieces available for them. Yerbuddy only having one. Yerbuddy now retreating, giving up A for free. So that is something we expected. So they just showed up there to delay the enemy for pushing, and they also baited them into setting up a lot of mortars to the right side. Really well played just by positioning there. So really love this. Gonna end up losing some
Stelladars are
Villas.
going to lose this battle for sure. That's a very high tier unit. You don't want to be losing, but obviously on the wall, that is where they were really more beneficial. Thankfully for them, though, ZT has managed to shut them down, got themselves on that wall, and you get all that range being shot out here. That'll be that tier 5 archers trying to deal as much damage as possible. All these units that are starting to make their way towards that supply point. Defense on A obviously was just baited, and just like he says, it's just making sure they can delay as much of that time as possible. Ami and Girk being the two dual blades, you can always see them causing a little bit of nuisance back and forward. The glaive, though, Amia has been pounced upon, grabbed, poleaxe, alted as well. And now switching back and forward from different positions. Is Ami going to get away with his life? The answer to that is no. ZT will shut him down, and the remainder of them Siladars from Girk's units will be finished off as well. Buddy, I don't know what he was doing or what he was thinking, but that poleaxe ult was the perfectly timed unit to obviously close down just to make sure that you can't get away or can't escape as that dual blade, which is very difficult to deal with half the time when they go and visit the speed that they bring. But this time round, with that poleaxe being pinned to the floor with all the units and all the heroes around, Amir just could not escape with his life. One of these things you've got to watch out for because you're limited on your lives as well. You don't want to lose too many, especially the way that Army and Girk both play. They're very up in your face. They're always trying to make these really interesting flanks in the back. They're trying to make you think twice. They'll go and use your artillery on the outskirts and stuff as well. They'll go out and just kind of be an absolute nuisance, distracting, and much a time wasting hero, as well as using the units to their advantage in terms of getting the back flanks as well. So well played to pick him off for once at least. You're going to have to keep an eye on him for the remainder of this battle, though. But ZT are starting to make their way in towards that breachway, looking to set the trebs up towards C as well. But yeah, buddy, our wise to a little bit start bringing their forces towards the ZT side. You can see the unit of cavalry looking to flank down through mid. Are they going to get a free opportunity to get a good charge on towards that stalwart unit that is facing the other direction? That's a very good charge in there. And now you're going to see another one from ZT into your cross charge coming as the Silidars are still trying to prep. The Tagraks from the other side of Yeah Buddy are just not managing to get some good charges off. Feels like this is going to go back and forward, but ZT with the upper hand here. Is definitely more units in red that are surviving this battle. Yeah Buddy are going to be forced off very quickly with so many cavalry charges, Yanyado swings coming in at the right time, and the stalwarts are staying alive as well for that ZT side. If we zoom out just a little bit, you'll see they've managed to get on towards that C as well, forcing as many of these Yeah Buddy heroes off of the point. Only down to 5 heroes remaining, and it's a very, very strong and very convincing attack here on towards C. Amiya might actually get picked off for a second time as well. He keeps getting stunned, and he will eventually fall again. That's his second death so far in such a quick time. C will be taken for sure. And at this point in time, when you're on the attack and you've captured C inside wall fort, I feel like that is pretty much you won the battle. You've done what you had to do. The hardest part was getting towards C and find it, but they won it in one final push, and that was pretty much all that was needed. The cavalry back and forward, Bruder, was just too good.
Yeah, the CT already shown their supremacy on this map, and therefore they executed it directly here again. Great supply block by them again, really being aware of what the defender is planning on and needs to do to get in hold of C. So they had one guy already being on the supply again, while really dominating that fight. The T5 archers being on top, they're just shooting down Havoc, dealt a lot of damage, and therefore really coming out on top there. Now they still have 15 pieces of artillery left. It's 7 or 8 minutes in total, with nearly 1,000 units for Yeah Buddy there. So it's possible to really go for this point here right now as the defender, but it's really, really not looking that good. Based on now the arty setup is going to be left side. They usually, the attackers just place arty left side and then go for the supply on the left side. And what we saw in the past is that the defenders just let the people be there. But right now, like 2 people being there captured inside of the supply. Amir died already twice, so if he's dying here again, he gonna be out. And they're gonna capture them on the supply here. So he needs to run there or just fight for his life. Yeah, but he's then picking up the units on site there. Now pushing in their back here, getting greeted by one Star Wars in the back. They're already rushed for the units there. Now is the fight coming. They're facing all the traps, all the mortar shots here. That's not looking so good. Now CT already has control about the supply there. Dunkel himself is trying to get the supply block running, while also the defender are slowly now getting all picked up, and CT is looking so strong here.
I mean, they're
Holy
getting absolutely
moly.
wiped here. Yeah, buddy, heroes are just falling constantly, one by one. ZT winning the fight on that supply point, force their way on towards the home point. That looks like that is almost truly inevitable that it is going to be the win for ZT on their attacking side. They're going to see a too lazy Yanyudo charge here coming in, but they are pretty quickly dealt with. The men at arms just surviving most of that and tanking all of that battle along with the stalwarts. Now, with the amount of units and heroes that are remaining on this battle, yeah, buddy, you've got a very tough uphill battle. But look at all of these units from ZT just forcing their way to all these respawning units, making sure that they're not going to get any more ground made. ZT will close out map number 1 with that win. Big difference in the Yanyadil play for sure was managing to secure that victory. ZT MVP gets the 79 unit kills and 3 hero kills. There's a massive Joe Blade 7 kills for ZT as well. Looking good. If we just click over some of these players, we can see their overall stats for it. Yeah. We don't know their full names for the most part. but KZ does become our MVP. Solid effort, 119 for the player in second place as well for unit kills. You see two players, that Joe Blade who got the 7 hero kills, plus the spear just below 108 unit kills along the way, showing exactly what they bring to the battle. This is like the Joe Blade to match Amia, it seems like, on the ZT side. On the other side of Girk and Amia are the two team players that we speak about quite a lot for Yeah Buddy's side, just because of what they do in the background. They are the two players sitting on top of the leaderboard. MVP going to Girk this time round, though. But you can see unit kills across the board wasn't that high for pretty much everybody other than the top 5 or top 6 there. They got into 50, but for the most part that is just not good enough in the grand scheme of this battle. ZT just shown so much dominance in their attack and prowess. It was a very interesting strategy to start with, but it worked out for them going towards B, not making sure they forced on it. They waited for siege towers and such like. But yeah, very, very difficult task to do. As we will head towards that post-battle analysis, Bruder, let's talk us through where the downfall of Yeah Buddy had come.
I think you can clearly see it on every engagement that was happening there, basically just by the stats being how many units they lost and how many CT lost. So, in general, two fights majorly happened, and CT just wiped the floor with them based on them showing how many heroes they killed. They, like, last time they played against Vice's heroes, that was like a major factor for them, hunting down units, not units, hunting down heroes. So looking alone at the hero kills, only 5 hero kills for Yeah Buddy and 30 hero kills for CT. Holy moly, it's not looking so good, and the trades are always like double the size. So we saw them not getting B done for Yeah Buddy. The bridge denial was not happening based on the short sword being Giga Shed again and running for them, getting them to withdraw, therefore ending them up at a later state of the game, getting beef with just running there, going back. Then the fight between A, where Yeah Buddy did really well on just positioning around A, and CT took some mortars down there, which ended them up just firing in the blank space because Yeah Buddy just retreated from A, pushed back to C. CT just pushed through, basically just got down the stairs, gathered their troops, sent all in, Havengers on top there, shooting down Havoc, therefore one guy on supply blocking it, winning this point on C. Supply was blocked, them going through from C to supply, winning C in general and the supply. Then Yeah Buddy retreated to the last point, having 2 people stuck on the supply. The 2 people were just picked up there and immediately deleted. Yeah Buddy struggled to come close to the supply there in the end, facing the trebuchet and all the mortar fire, and therefore ending CT in a deserved win on this first face off between them both.
Yeah, certainly, definitely. And well, what we say for the most part in these competitions, right? You tend to go for a map that is quite attacker favored, so you do have an opportunity to win both. It makes it more easier. Like if you pick a defensive favored map, you feel like there's a chance that you don't win any of it. You don't even win the attack. You definitely don't win the defense. Sometimes it could be difficult. But when your two teams are up like this, you pick maps like this and Regionopolis, both kind of attacker favored. It means you'll get a map on the board for most part. That Yeah Buddy side will be going on the attack next. So hopefully for them, they can actually do exactly the same as what ZT did. Maybe not the same kind of speed. Maybe it won't happen the same way. ZT did look really powerful there, but maybe that's just the momentum with the use of the height with their archers in the background. Definitely gives you an advantage that you could just spam over from the top. These tier 5 archers just look like they have got instant aim, instant lock onto your units and deal devastating damage along the way. And even with the archers just helping them healing from the height as well, you don't have to worry about too much. Obviously, Trebs, artillery, you've got loads of that in your advantage as well as the attackers. So it is a map, one of these ones, once you get into A and B and you eventually get there, see, it doesn't take too much longer unless you've got really difficult teams, like causing a lot of nuisance. But ZT were just so fluid, so quick, and were just on point with every single phase of play that they put in there. Their cavalry flanks in the back were just phenomenal. Amia getting caught out a couple of times probably wasn't for the best overall. And then you just have a few other heroes that felt like they were just disjointed at times, where they weren't working together. They were getting units losing at certain points of the map where they weren't really in a position to take the fight. Everybody was trying to come in from different directions, and it opened it up for all these cross cavalry chargers and Yanyado spam that just came out for ZTs. So focus up for this one. Yeah, buddy, on the attack this time round. Hopefully they've got something to answer back with, because Dunkel won't want to be going 2-0 down going into that Regionopolis map where it makes it a little bit more difficult. It is a best of 5. There is a chance to take 2 maps again on Regionopolis, for example, if they do lose here, but it's an uphill battle and you don't want to be doing that. Put the pressure on you. You want to try and win one here, keep it fair on the map pick of your opposition, and hoping going into your map pick that you've got an upper hand and can turn the tides of battle. Bruder, the way that this has gone from that one, do you see that ZT's got a strategy potentially to defend off this Yeah Buddy roster?
I think both teams are being well aware of their opponent and having enough insight and fights happening before that they could reference off and seeing like strategies they might using at this matchup, and therefore I expect to now seeing or witnessing what Yeah Buddy is packing, because it's a very, like you said before, attacker friendly map, and therefore Yeah Buddy is gonna make it for sure 1-1. And I think that's something we need to really look into. And then going into the map pick from Yeah Buddy being Regionopolis, that's also like a map very diverse on strategies, because sometimes they're defending on C, sometimes they're defending behind C. Then also the Shenji's being banned, and Shenji's being very viable for Regionopolis and therefore often used. And if you don't use them there, you often just see Kokos and also the Lion Roar. But it's not the same if you're not having Chenji's basically in Regionopolis. You need to think twice about it. It's not like a commonly used unit there is Chenji Grenadiers, and therefore it's like making it kind of strange to see this map happening behind this. But before we go there, before I forgot it, we can head into 99 treaties again. So if you spam 99 again in the chat, you will be picked, one of you, and we will announce them after the next round. And therefore, you can message me privately on Discord, and then we can make it happening. Everybody should receive their 99 treaties at Monday, as far as I'm informed. Saying that could be differently, maybe 1 or 2 days longer. Just making you aware. Yeah. Going back to the normal topics. Us being Walford now again, like I said, attacker friendly, like you said. So yeah, looking into Yeah Buddy, I expect them to make this a 1-1 here. Reacting more to the cuff spam, because they did it yesterday. They did the same. They played a lot of like lower tier cavalry plus the higher tier cavalry. So there's a lot of cuff spam coming at the right moment. So every push needs some anti-cavalry at least, and therefore you really need to look into what you're doing against this high tier cuff right now, based on phalanx being banned. So therefore there's no common unit you're using right now. So Yeah Buddy used like Forte Braccio for the gate. I think Jan or Atomic Jan was playing them on the gate there, and therefore what do you want? What unit you want to go? You want to use Modaus now, or if it like they're not performing that good against Yan Yudao and other cavalry, and then you need to look into how much you're using them, or you're using like just the stalwarts, but stalwarts needs to be like positioned right in the right direction, and therefore it's really hard right now on such an open field to coordinate and get the right unit set up to answer this cav spam that's coming from both sides. So yeah,
Exactly. Exactly that. So fingers crossed. So yeah, buddy, they're going to have their attacking opportunity, looking to see what they can do against that ZT side. This is obviously here. Let's to claim best in CBL right this year. You want to be picking that title. Is that gloating? And the fact that you're just going to have the opportunity to do is, yeah, buddy, have been in the positions to almost get that opportunity, but just haven't closed it out when it came to it. They're going to have to switch on here now, though. You don't want to go 2-0 down. You want to try and give yourself an advantage going into Regionopolis. And we want to see we want to see it go the distance, right? We want to see the most exciting matchup we can possibly get. ZT looking like a very dominant enforcer and a very difficult team to deal with, definitely. Why so Series struggled in their semi-final leading up towards this one, where they did actually pull a map off of them as well. Almost took it to game 5, but it wasn't to be. Yeah, buddy. Obviously, slightly better in terms of statistics and where it's been. There's a chance that this could definitely go to that game 5, which will be even more interesting to see how both these teams play it. You're mentioning the fact that the tier 2 units that were brought out by Yeah Buddy. I keep saying it, and I will forever keep saying it throughout CBL 2025. Yes, since the changes, yes, they're a good set of units. They can be used at certain times, but you have to use them when they're needed. And that's mostly on the attack. Defensively, I feel like it's just a waste of your life and your unit choices because you don't have time to really go through 5 sets of units for the most part on defense. If a team like ZT are running like that, it is very difficult. You're going to get one unit in. If you've got that unit out, you're going to have to go back to supply point. Before you know it, you're being charged down at the supply point when your unit have just spawned in. You don't want that. You don't want to lose your good unit in that scenario. So if you're clever about it, you do what ZT did, because I feel like they had very few and far between on their attack of tier 2 units. And you show how devastating and dominant they became in that battle. Are you buddy going to adopt a different strategy? Are they going to still bring all these tier 2 units to that battle, knowing fine well that there's a chance that they don't even get the chance to use all of their units in the battle? I don't know. Like, Dunko's got the strategy. Dunko knows better than me. He is in that position that I've never been in terms of competing at this level. I've taken part in a CBL, and I can't say that the team and us were phenomenally as strong as these guys. So they've definitely got the better strategies. Definitely know their meta better. But if they bring that again, I want to see if it will actually give them that win. Hopefully, we will see less and less of them as the games progress. If they notice that ZT don't really bring them, don't really need them, because it just shows how strong they are with their Yanudel for sure in that first battle. Because they just wiped the floor. Even if it was stalwarts, they couldn't care. They weren't having to bring Reapers or whatever to that battle. They just brought a lot of cavalry. And you know what? They looked for the flanks. They looked for opportunities where all of the units were still either on the move or had their backs turned to the cavalry. And that is where you're going to get your most damage and your most amount of kills when you're trying to get sneaky flanks in, doing it all combined together as quickly as you possibly can so that the opposition don't have time to react.
Yeah. It's basically all about adapting on the live game right now, because even if you have like a look into what the enemy team did before, you now need to take in account what's happening right now on the screen for us and them on live game. Like you said before, it's really hard to judge something like this from the outside or even from a casting position, as we are all well aware, being like a high competitive team and then also being like at this stage of the game right now is very rare. And then also being a team leader of such a game, there's only a handful of people who can go head on head with the good old jungle right now. We're going to the second round now, switching attackers and defenders. Yeah Buddy being now the attacker, CT being the defender. CT now picking again a lot of mixed units, and Yeah Buddy is picking a lot of higher tier units, going for the good old stalwarts. And then also the I don't even know what is the other. It's the not evolved stalwarts, so I don't know. Can you hover over them for me to see the name? I'm missing them. That's the
Stalwarts,
stalwarts.
yeah.
And then the other
The one
one
below
is the
Spear
spear
Sergeant.
sergeants, right? That's the English name.
Yeah, it's just turn the shield around a different angle and that the different one. You go like, oh wait a minute, I'm a spear sergeant. Shut that off a
It-
little bit. Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing with this as a stalwart. I can't brace it. But the other ones can do a little bit better with it. It's a unit that we've seen used more often or not recently in the last few weeks, just because of the changes in the meta. There is a lot less green units though from Yeah Buddy, and you know what? That is a good thing to see. I'm so glad that we're not seeing a spam of every single member of Yeah Buddy picking up a green tier unit, because it gives you lots of units on the battlefield, but very little chance of using all of your units. Glad now hopefully give them some good high tier units and high tier fights and high tier battles with the chance to take out the opposition. So hopefully for them, that'll give them a wee bit of momentum. They've got a chance to take this map here in Walfort. What's the strategy going to be? You're going to see it's very similar to ZT. Heroes over towards this left side Walfort. and then looking to try and get their units and heroes over as well, possibly to try and get over that bridge and do exactly what ZT did on their attacking side, where they were managing to get over towards B with that bridge still fully intact.
Yeah, but they're not looking like they're even trying to defend for a bridge here, not showing any sign of trying. So yeah, buddy is gonna just pull through here on B, having a lot of Arachis there, being a good pick right now to be available against cavalry and also really decent against most of the units on the being picked right now. So it's like an good trade in general. There's a lot of Cuff being prepped there. They were ready to sally this one, I guess. So they're now retreating and picking another unit based on yeah, buddy rushing for B, and therefore there's no way for them to climb up the stairs because the dev didn't release any unit or any cavalry right now that is available to go upstairs. I hope they will never do, but I don't know yet. So
Just chasing powers hard my territory there is KZ. He's just chasing down some unit kills early on. But he's actually not gone out with himself. He just sent the unit out from that gateway. That means that the gate is open and you're going to be able to finish off the remainder of the units with, is that the Madao there to stop that unit going back in? B will be captured here as well from Yebuddy up on your left-hand side of the screen. And ZT completely falling back completely, where no chance to even defend anything, not taking out siege towers, giving Yebuddy a lot of time in this map. That's going to be over 10 minutes and they've not captured A. Yeah, when they capture A, there's going to be about 13 to 14 minutes still left on this clock. And when I get the opportunity with all siege towers reaching the wall, so they'll be able to get their units up as quickly as possible and start looking for openings inside this wall. They've not took the breach down yet, but I wonder if they will start to think about that. So they've got multiple ways in towards that city on a quicker scenario, because going through the gateway isn't quick and very easy to kind of stop. But with the breach down, it gives you two ways in, so you can't get pinched from just going in through that gate. So I'm sure everybody might actually start thinking about it at some point. Until now, though, you see mortars being used here from ZT. The Joe Blade, I'm assuming, is either Amya looking to come down that wall. Maybe he's a way to sneak his way into the back. You can see him jumping just to get some sight lines to see where these units could be potentially hidden or where any of these artillery spots are placed. He's just going to hopefully bait players around for as much as possible. And the other Joe Blade up top is just waiting on a mortar as well. He's like, right, I'll be the scout. You pick up your mortar and we'll try and take out these units. I'll ping them for you and we'll do some good working out between each other. And that's exactly what they were doing. However, ZT's mortar in a better position and they've managed to take out their unit on the attack. So good plan, good action, but wasn't going to come into fray for them. He's going to have to get another opportunity to get another mortar set up somewhere. But the musket has been called into action. Can he do something as well? Is he going to get the range to be able to hit them from down below, or is he going to get a couple muskets on that wall to deal with these mortars? Because they're a very interesting placement.
yeah, generally speaking, CT always put like pre-placed mortars in the past. You saw the two mortars on the left side here from the half moon wooden barrier here. They were placed like yesterday from them was the same, and the one mortar to the right there was also placed there. They also destroyed some of the wooden barrier there in the middle to make it more viable for all the cuff charges going left and right. Amya and Grieg already looking into what they can do there, maybe looking for some opportunities and picking somebody, but be aware that this is not like you usually game right now. CT catching Amya all over the place last time, so he needs to be a little bit more patient and a little bit more laid back. We see some mortars being placed there for the supply point, shooting down already on the defending units. Overall, yeah, buddy's looking very splitted all over the battlefield right now, just based on them gathering enough intel, I guess, and speaking about what is possible, what is the defending setup right now. Just getting
Oh, Java, get out of there. No, he's okay. He's going to deal some damage onto ZT units. It's just a lower tier of cavalry, so he doesn't matter
ooh,
too much.
ooh,
Nobody.
ooh, 360 no scope, I guess. Ooh, did you saw that one coming? Get out of here!
Ballista.
Woohoo! That was a chef's kiss. The fuck?
Mwah.
That was
Well,
so.
sorted.
Yeah, he was
I
like,
didn't actually see it. I was like, what is he talking and what's he referencing to here? I see the player fall and die, but the ballistic shot is
it
phenomenal.
was just a ballista shot from the wall going. He was sitting there with his sniper gun, be like, and he was like out of here, just shooting down his horse, just to make him a little bit slower, and then he was like aiming for his life and just destroyed him.
That's a
Oh,
good thing
he
about ballistas. You still trying to send ballistas in towards that supply point side as well, if they can. But this is a very good position strategy times wise as well. They've got lots of time, so they don't have to force everything, but they can use all their artillery on the high ground that they have there to take out some units, take out some heroes if they possibly can. And they already did that with that ballista shot, which was quite a good position to be in. You see, they've set up their tier 5 archers note now on that high ground towards that left hand side along with stalwarts, a lot of protection in there as well to make sure that nobody comes to try and pick them archers off. There's a Zyklon militia up there as well. And now this could be where they use that position to their advantage and start pushing their way down towards that C point. And Madao already below as well, going to try and get set up. That first push in our first initial battle might be about to commence. We've got to deal with a mortar shot, so they're still spamming on towards that stairwell, and that one mortar is still there. But they've managed to get some ground into the C point and moved forward a little bit. It's the scimitar class just baiting players forward, hopefully trying to bait players into their attack. I've still yet took that breach down as well. So therefore, the only attacking options is coming through that gate and coming from this stairwell now as they start making headway. Can they get on towards C? Can they get their units set up here? Perfectly poised for it. The cavalry flank coming in from ZT. The Yanyadel already hitting that spam. It's Yanyadel versus Yanyadel. Who comes out on top? Barbar's unit looks like they've won that battle for the first part. And that's going to be a good trade for them, guaranteeing they take out one of them strong units of Yanyadel that Zeti did so well on their attack with. You can see now the range coming in distance. They're also going to set up another ballista on the stairwell, find even more hero kills if they can. But now moving forward more progressively here are yeah buddy trying to get on towards that C point, going to use that mortar as well as a position so that nobody can make it towards that C point from that position. The stalwarts are inside that breachway, and you do see some units start to make their way out as that treb comes in. Oh, the spam from range is working out, but now here comes all of the cavalry coming from the back, coming from the side, from that supply point as well. Is that charge going to come off from ZT? Doesn't look likely as the stalwarts turn and brace. They sort that out. Another cavalry flank coming straight, and that does wipe a couple of units there. And two lazy and sexy kebab will fall, not followed quite quickly by Social Hippie, but ZT have countered this quite quickly in terms of killing all the heroes that are there for yeah, buddy. They baited a lot of players and units in. Can that treb land on towards these units and deal some devastating damage? Because now it will hit a lot of the stalwarts and remaining cavalry on that point. Final unit there that comes in will be Dunkos. It stays alive for a long time on that point, which baited them for that treb. But for the most part, it was a very strong defense from ZT. Once again, flanks with the cavalry all coming in at the right times. Girk will fall and Amia falls as well. And now they're down to only 8 heroes. They'll have to reset. And like I said, this is where now, with the reset, with the breach not being down, is only one way in, or you have to go and try and take that long route up on towards them stairwells once again through that siege tower. ZT, I feel like they have a plan already in place. 6 minutes left to do this defense. By the time they've reset, you're going to have about 4 minutes left to try and take C. And ZT, I feel like, are in that front position there. They've got almost the same amount of tier 4 units, a little bit disadvantaged in terms of tier 5 units. But if it's only one fight you have to with sustain, it's not so bad for ZT. I feel like you're in a good prime position to win this defense still. But yeah, buddy, taking the attack towards the supply point, Bruder. Have they got what it takes here to gain some momentum and grab C?
I don't know. CT is really looking strong here. They killed a lot of heroes. The hero trade was really good. Javamal is now going for a right play in my opinion, putting some pressure onto C. So CT is now like overcommitted onto pushing against this thing right here. yeah, buddy's slowly retreating, but they might end up losing some key units while not retreating fast enough. Now they're fighting this with the trebuchet being back. They baited them out into the trap area. Adi or Kaf is coming through. Modao is a little bit too far in the back there. Trap is hitting okay, yeah, but Yan Yudao from the defenders are looking so strong right now. The units in the back are not challenged at all. The supply is just merely blocked right here. So CT is looking
He's
so
still being
strong.
captured though at the same time though, so this is still working out for yeah, buddy. In terms of units, they've got advantage still. They have hero disadvantage though. That's the only thing you got to worry about. But they've managed to break the gateway here and get in towards that supply point. Now the pressure being on the supply. Now they need to try and win some of these fights. But sadly for them, they're losing heroes quicker than they can even react to it. And now the way that this is going, it looks like it's once again in favor of ZT in this defense. But now heroes start to go back on the other side. Now, yeah, buddy, have got everybody together with their units. Can they start trading the blows with ZT heroes falling? This capture point on the supply point could be crucial. And they can then start making their way towards C. It's halfway capture with 4 minutes left. ZT's big difference has been the Yanudel plays. But how many Yanudels do they have left is the question for ZT. Because if they don't have any left, this could be a favorable battle now for yeah, buddy, as they start still trying to find the heroes bouncing in and around that supply point area. The scimitar class is just being absolutely distracted, worthy of so many heroes. And now the spear player will fall as well. They've got the trades, they've got the chance to get towards C. The respawning units now coming in. You do see a lot of cavalry, but none of the Yanudels being forced out here this time round. There is a set of Liaos, though, which are an interesting unit to be bringing to the battle. They can shoot from distance, they can do a little bit of a charge spam before they stun everybody, and then interesting choice of units, which we don't really see very often on the EU side of things for sure. But that scimitar class on that C point might get picked off here as well. Amir going for the chase along with Girk, but they decide to give him his due. He'll get away with his battle life for now. And ZT looking to try and regather that supply point. Cinetic and Jabbermill, though, and Winkro are on that defensive side of that for it, making sure that's held off. The Yanudal use, though, here we go. A chance to bring it back in. One unit goes in, does fall. The Wui are doing what they have to do. Sorry, that's the Orochi Samurai doing what they have to do and deal with the cavalry spam. Back and forward it goes, though. Feel like ZT are still winning this battle. It's just not working out. As they're losing too many heroes here. If you're, yeah, buddy, back down to only 9 heroes left alive. What are we seeing here? What are we witnessing? A ZT winner this one so far has got so close. 2 minutes, 45 seconds. Brother, it's a difficult task now here for yeah, buddy, to secure that C point.
Yeah, I think it's really looking desperate. I think almost or a lot of Yabadi already died 3 times, and therefore there's no respawn even for them left, despite having maybe some units available. But overall, like CT is looking very strong on this hero hunting thingy right now going on, not having C right now. Defenders also captured the supply back, and therefore it's only some of the year buddy people still being alive. But I think, like I said before, a lot of them already died 3 times right now. So if we give it a look, there should be a display on a lot of people being dead for now forever. So it's
Captain
all
Fantastic as well is out of the battle. Girk, who's been one of the standout performers, is out of the battle. You've got Cinetic out of it. Yeah, it is a very difficult task here. 6 heroes, 1 minute 50 seconds left to do it. 361 units versus 361 units. It's a pretty much even Stevens in that case. But in terms of hero lives, it is definitely a major disadvantage. Yeah, buddy, not looking like they're going to have a chance to secure this. Ami's going towards that supply point, sends his unit in instantly, melted, and Ami will now be chased down by the 2 spears, looking to try and finish him off for the final time as well. And the remaining units that you're seeing inside this gate are just going to get pinched, I'm sure. As ZT will start to bring the pressure. Not very long left in this battle, and yet to get C captured. Yeah, buddy, are definitely not going to be on that winning side whatsoever on this attack. Sadly for them, it's going to mean 2-0 down in this case, and ZT looking pretty much trying to secure it now on this next matchup, going in towards Regionopolis. A very strong, dominant performance, and you know what, from ZT, fair play to them because they didn't even defend B or A. They let them get all that time very quickly. Yeah, but he had so much time to work with. Didn't think about taking down the breach. Didn't want to give herself an opportunity to go in another direction rather than just the gateway, which made a lot of time wasted going in through siege towers, going up through the walls, not having opportunities. But Yanya Dow difference and ZT has been absolutely phenomenal throughout this match on Warfort.
Yeah, they're playing this really, really good, having just more units in general, don't investing too many hero lives for every push. Yeah, but ending up every time dying with the heroes on every engagement, and therefore CT is slowly coming ahead. It's not even that big on the unit trades for every fight there that happened, but on hero kills, it was very dominant by CT here, and they're just looking into hunting down every hero and every life of you. So looking into 4 unit setup, trying to get you killed on everyone. So therefore, you ending up winning the situation by just being ahead of hero kills. And that's basically what they did yesterday and what they're trying to do today again. And they're working it out very, very good, as we can see here now on the team stats. Run us through this Mark of G, show us what is happening on the score, and explain something to it.
Wow, yeah, let's go look at the Yeah Buddy side first off there. Barbar getting your MVP with the 77 unit kills and 2 hero kills. Sexy Kebab 103, Cinetic 133 unit kills, 2 Lazy 112. This time a little bit better, definitely from their side of getting over 50 across the board, pretty much for every single member, other than one there by the looks of it. Just Keen Date Jade not managing to get over 50, but not far behind it. And then hero kills, lives as well. Amia finding 4 hero kills. And Garrick only finding 2. A lot of the other ones only finding 2. Too Lazy was the only other person to get over 2, which was Too Lazy finding 3. So a good performance from him as well. But overall, not a winning performance. ZT MVP gets 5 hero kills and 160 unit kills. That's devastating. And look at the damage that's on towards so many Madao, so many stalwarts, even the units of Ihanyudao and Siladar's in there as well. So a lot of higher tier units for sure. A very good MVP for performance from them. You're going to have another massive hero slayer once again. No, the Jailblade once again from ZT, just showing what he's worth. 7 hero kills across that board. The glaive above him as well. It just gets 148 unit kills, and then the short sword 144 unit kills. Yeah, outslaying heroes for sure. It was been the biggest part of that battle. You said in terms of trades unit wise, it was pretty even in the end. But let's go look at that post battle analysis where you'll see the breakdown of where and how many units were lost and how many heroes were lost in that battle.
Yeah, generally speaking, like we saw or we talked about before, like the first both trades happening on C looking like one side a little bit favored to the defenders, then favored for the attackers. But generally speaking, look at the hero kills happening all over the place. That is where we need to really now look at, because it is the strategy of CT just focusing heroes, going for 4 units in their comp, and therefore you really, really need to win their fights on your side with your 3 units, because Buddy's only using 3 units and therefore investing every time everything on the fight. But CT is always playing on this, okay, we're sending out our units, but we are not investing our hero lives into it that much, or not committing into it and trying to set up with a new unit setup. So your supply block really needs to be on point, therefore them not being available to pick out new units. And then you need to be really aware of them flanking with all the cavalry and the cross charges that's happening all the time by them. They're really, really on point of them going in with the infantry, just touching the shields together and then going for the cross charges. And you're trying to like react to this is really hard on this map, because it's like every angle is open basically. If you're going for C, there can be cavalry coming from every direction, and to coordinate this is really, really hard. Even then they losing on C a little bit. Buddy going for the supply instead of taking C. They are taking the supply, but then trying to get the back foot back to C, but then getting overrun by CT there again. Was like a really, really close situation there, but really had them in a pinch situation like the footlock, and therefore CT won this round again. So it's looking really, really, really rough right now for Yeah Buddy in this matchup. City just being really strong and showcasing what they are playing right now and really well executing their strategy again today. So looking, I hope Dunkel has the time to adapt to this and he's well aware of what's happening right now to him.
Yeah, well, that's losing two battles on the opposition's map pick. There's not what you want to be doing, but I mean, that being said, you're going to your map pick on towards Reginopolis. Now you have to swing things in your favor. You have to win both attack and defense now on your pick and hope that there's a chance for that reverse sweep coming in and winning on grasslands. That is the only way that they win this battle. Now ZT only need to win one of these two, attack or defense. It doesn't matter. One of them wins it and wins this battle overall. Whether they lose one to start with, they can win it again in the next one. So there's 2 match points going it up for ZT. A very, very good, strong position to be in. And they've been looking very, very strong. And we've said it before, and we've said it time and time again. CBL comes down to hero lives, right? You're limited on what you can do. And if you're taking out that many heroes in that quick fashion, with them playing players all being stacked up with their units, it's pretty straightforward for a Yanida wipe to come in and go, you know what, we'll get them in two different directions with the Yanida, and they're just going to absolutely demolish that setup and them heroes. And it's exactly what's been happening from that ZT side. We're not going to see this though in Reginopolis. I'm sure there's a little bit less room for your Yannido cavalry to be spamming into this battle going into Reginopolis. There's not much room, and it's all going to be in towards C. So trying to get these flanks is a little bit harder to kind of set up. There's smaller gaps to get your units in, quicker to stop them, and we've seen the Madal being used, but feel like Madals were not really strong enough to hold off any of these cavalry charges. So maybe more stalwarts in this battle will be better off than using the unit of Madal, because it doesn't seem to work that way. Or even some pikes maybe used in there as well to try and stop it. Maybe for Abrasio, I don't know how strong they are in comparison, but in a game like Reginopolis, you don't have to have them in line or in show. The pikes have got that longer reach. They could be hiding around the corner and they're still going to be doing damage to units and killing units, getting in through all these tight gaps. But yeah, going into this one, you got to reset your focus. You got to reset your whole mindset. Just forget that you're 2-0 down and go, right, we need to win 2 matches. That's what we need to do. We need to just go on all guns blazing, whether you're on attack or defense for Dunko's side. But with the power that ZT brings to this brooder, do you feel like it's their game to now just take control of here, no matter whether it is attack?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, buddy. This is the map pick for Yeah, buddy. So I think they are cooking on something and they're going to show us what they are packing for the last map. Maybe we're going to see today. I hope they bring it to Graceland. But right now it's really looking desperate. But also talking about something more happy, maybe about
Yay! It's not me
about
though.
about the winner from our first draw. It's Hektrandir. So please message Conqueror's Blade Devs on Twitch or me on Discord so we can make it happening for you. And then going into something different, we can talk about the new season today a little bit more.
Another new season for CBL. Oh my god. Here we go. What units are we bringing into the battle is the question. What kind of season have we got coming up, brother? I'm really excited to see and hear what units are potentially coming along into this battle. You talk us through a little bit of it.
So, starting with the usual thing, it's a Chinese season coming again. Okay, some of you being like, no, it's Chinese again. But we usually go for like 2 Chinese, 2 Western themed seasons over the year. So we have like a 50-50 going. Therefore, that's fine for me. Just have to wait a little bit more about the better season teams. But looking into this season right now, we can speak a little bit about our T3 unit coming out again. And they're packing a punch as far as I read something about them, because they being like what kind of crossbows, but they're not only using the crossbow the usual way, they're using it with their hands and feet. They're they're going with the good old foot bow, which is not that commonly used all over the place, but was really an effective weapon in the medieval times, which just being used over a long distance, and therefore you had to use your feet. Your good old feet enjoyers out there, you're gonna come to a certain thingy maybe we can enjoy some feed pics of our units, and therefore them using the crossbow, and they have like special abilities. But not only speaking about it, we can already have a look into them. So let's roll the clip of our T3 unit.
六国算什么？寡人要率大秦的锐士，打下一个大大的江山。
There you go, guys. As you can see there, look at that in the heat of battle, stacking up. They're like they're sailing on rowing boats there at the end. There, just row, row, row your boat. Here comes my bow, and all of a sudden it takes so much damage to these tier units. I wonder how strong they're going to be in the grand scheme of the battle. I'm sure it's going to stack up a lot of damage with that fire special alloy that ignites the fire oil, detonating stacks of units of hopefully killing a lot of them as well. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that will be playing out in battle. I was getting told in chat there to show more feet. I mean, if they give me a bow, I'll show my feet and we'll start firing some archer shots across to your units if you want. That's the case. We could do that. I'm sure that'll be. They might not be as fresh though as this unit that are going to be brought out to the battle, though, Brother, will they?
Yeah, definitely bringing a new mechanic to the battlefield there. So they're stacking up on the enemy and being very effective against units that are not using shields. So therefore, for high armor type units that are not having shields, so stacking up, and then you can ignite them with a second ability, I think, as far as I wrote it, and therefore dealing massive damage. You can just stack them up, even on multiple units, and then activating their skill to just go. So going maybe for the glorious one shot after stacking enough from them. They also have a lot of range available. In the video, I think they're just showcasing the direct damage output and the direct shooting, and therefore it's not showcasing their big potential. That's maybe coming out with a new special unit, basically them looking just like usually crossbows, but actively being a special units like Kokos in the end, which you can really well use on being like something you need to be like look out for, because they're gonna be very easily to kill, but then end up with a high damage potential and a high range, and therefore even with the unit to just go snap or Thanos snap to kill your enemy team and eradicate them from the galaxy. So therefore, I'm really, really stoked on how they will work out on the battlefield and where's their niche, where they will work on. So I go like, I'm excited about what they're gonna bring to the battlefield and their potential on being played out on the unit. But speaking about new features and things you can use for new tactics on the battlefield, we have a second unit we can showcase you, and that's our T4 unit. So we can jump right into our teaser for the T4 unit and showcase the new T4 unit as well.
The tier 4. There we go. Here, get it. Wow, what a nice little model here that we've seen there from our terracotta halberdier elites. They're going to look really good up close and personal, slicing, hooking, and driving straight through armor and bone. I mean, some of their traits there, that looks really good. The fact that they're just pulling units out of their formation and disrupting everybody in their way. It's going to deal with a lot of shielded units for sure, like you just seen, whether that's Murmalones, whether that's Stalwarts, whether that's Spear Sergeants, maybe even the Imperial Shields. You just pull them out of their formation and deal devastating damage, brother. That is looking like a really strong unit, and definitely one that's going to be brought into that meta, I'm sure, when we're seeing units like Stalwarts being brought to the fray.
Yeah, like looking in general on Conqueror's Blade, you're going for this big blob fights where you usually end up like in cities, not the last match we saw where you have like a big field map in the end where you can spread out, but usually you're going for the big board fights, even in TW, and therefore a unit which is like, get over here, and yanking you out of your position and yanking out all of your units and spreading them out evenly. It's gonna be like a really game changer on the battlefield and making this like loosening up your positioning in all your states. So therefore it's gonna be like a really thing on the battlefield which is swapping up a lot of the movement and a lot of things you need to watch out now, because just based on them repositioning your units, not even talking about damage, that's just about the ability to replace your positioning and your unit setup on them hooking them out. So I expect people to utilize the meme of get over here, and also maybe some guy just fishing there and being like, I'm just sitting here and baiting out the good units and be like, oh, that's a 5-pounder. And therefore, this is something I'm really looking into and just looking into what's gonna happen there. So that's it for today. We're not gonna cover tier 5 today. That's like, I'm sorry, can't do that yet.
Secret. Shh. You're not going to see the tier 5. That is all going to come out at some point soon. I'm sure you'll get to see what we're bringing for tier 5 units. But like people are saying in chat, it is very much a Wooey / Orochi / Halberdier unit. I mean, it's going to be a really interesting battle. But that being in favor of this, we're not going to see any of them yet until next season for at least CBL as well. We'll see if they're going to be brought to the fray. But for now, we're going to see Spear Sergeants, we're going to see Silidars, we're going to see a lot more units that are changing up from that last battle. Iron Reapers brought to the battle for sure. Silidars, like Militia. You can even see Yaniros for Yamia and Gurk because they'll be wanting to try and do something nice with them. Also, maybe seeing some Zyhanders as well. So overall, it's going to be the attackers of Yeah Buddy to start with. They need to win this map. They can't lose this. Otherwise, that is the game well and truly done. And therefore, ZT will be your champions of East versus West. But Yeah Buddy, with the attacking side, you get some momentum into this, win this battle, and then you just have to hold off on the defense. Easier said than done. But, brother, with the picks of units and choices here, who do you favor?
It's hard to say because CT is now looking into more high value units and therefore going back from what they did before, bringing the good old Falcos to the matchup there. A lot of Yan Yudao, a lot of cuff flanks are gonna happening again. I hope Yeah Buddy will be aware of this. Irregionopolis giving more place or more possibilities for them to react on those charges just based on it being like more focused around close corners and also like close alleyways, so not that much potential of getting cross-charged by cavalry, but still there enough room for flanks happening. But I expect Yeah Buddy to be aware of the situation because based on them being professionals, so they should be well aware of what's going to happen to them. Starting into the match, Yeah Buddy just parking the units inside of the tunnel here like usual to avoid like the defending forces using the artillery to shoot down, but they're not even going for a wall here, they're just retreating immediately. So Yeah Buddy is now going up the walls, opening the gates and just pulling through with everything. Some people gonna stay on the right side using the bombard to shoot down all the walls. And that's
The standard strategy. Go back, not defend on A or B because you're just losing units at that point in time, and it's very much not in your favor to defend it. Whereas if you're sitting in behind all of these walls, you've got supply points nearby on both sides as well, and you're hidden for the most part between trebs. So unless you're right onto that point, which you won't be to the early stages, you'll be hiding behind that wall and making sure it is there and ready just to kind of keep your unit secure and used when they're needed. Everybody will get all of this time. It's going to be a lot of time here on Reginopolis to start with. They're going to get the chance to use all of that artillery that they have the option of. 30 of them in total. You're going to see ZT using the Falconetti gunners to take down that breach first. Oh, that's going to be interesting strategy from them. So they've got a quick way out if need be for flanks because we've seen ZT coming up with so many good flanks in that last match. Maybe that's what they're looking to do again when Yeah Buddy decide to start making their pushes on towards that top plateau.
Yeah, generally speaking, parking their units on the defensive spot right here inside of the big tower. Mostly all of the units are stored right now, Falcos being all the way in the back, being placed where they may be utilized on breach denial or breach push and also on the C push happening. A lot of Reapers being picked and Zilladas in general from CT right now, so they're really set up for the general sergeants push. So I hope Yeah Buddy is seeing this in time and not trying to push against this with their sergeants, because I think Iron Reapers and Zilladas are gonna end up winning this fight against them. So they might need to look into what they're gonna bring to it in the end. And then also right now they're going to set up some mortars, but they need to look what the enemy is doing right now, because they're not going to deal that much damage with their mortars in this position right now. It's just them shooting blanks basically in the air. And therefore,
Yeah.
not really.
Surely, if you're one of these players firing that mortar, you're in Z, you're following the path in, and you're letting them know that there is no units inside here. We're just wasting shots, we're wasting chances. I guess it is also a way of trying to hit some of the heroes, because there's plenty of muskets on that ZT side who can deal destruction on towards your artillery, and hence why they have brought them to battle. Using the musket in this position is pretty much the best position to be in, on top of the wall, looking on down and dealing damage where they can. You're going to see units start moving in through these streets from Yeah Buddy, and they're looking towards opportunities, maybe towards that supply point side. It's just a lower tier unit along with Silidars, though, and they're just going to scan their way on towards supply point, see what is sitting there and waiting in case there's an opportunity to at least grab that and start catching them by surprise. Buddy bringing their units now up towards that supply point and towards the bottom stairwell, where that is a better position for them to get anywhere near with these mortar shots, and maybe start setting up even more mortars in the corner. You do see some go on that supply point now and start sending them inside the walls, looking for more units once again, but they're all in that spiral tower and they won't be getting damaged yet at this point in time. And if you're quick and if you're very clever, well, yeah, buddy, with the amount of scanning of your being done, you can potentially get in and into that battle as quickly as you possibly can, so that they're stuck still coming out of that stairwell. But I mean, the reaction times from ZT, I'm sure, are quick enough to react to it and get out of that tower and set up. But you never know. Somebody might be caught sleeping, too busy looking at a phone because they're like, this is just the waiting part where we don't do nothing.
Yeah. But now we see already, yeah, buddy, moving up a little bit, looking into maybe going for supply, but also placing the units inside of the good old tunnel system there, and them just looking into maybe rotating at the given point. But in generally speaking, that is not making such a difference, because defenders have just the shorter way to rotate, and therefore actively denying anything of this. NCT showing that they're still awake. For them, it's in the evening. For us in Europe, it's midday. So maybe some people slept in long in Europe, but I don't expect any of the Chinese guys being now a little bit sleepy. So they should be well aware of every movement happening. But now we also see, yeah, buddy, getting some sergeants away, picking new units there. I think it's the supply unit building up its supply there. That's kind of odd, kind of new. Maybe just for the buff, building it up there, utilizing it, and then going straight in with all the buffs on all the units. That's what I'm expecting here. Also, left side is now gathering all their troops very aggressively, so we're gonna witness a push in like a second or two from both sides, so it's gonna be hard to capture. Going for the supply block immediately here. That is going in. Then also the main push is now coming in.
Go quickly, react, not paying attention. Their units are in so quickly. That is a nice and strategy for sure. The stalwarts coming in, Silidar smashing their way through that first set of stalwarts, and they start making their way, and the cavalry shunted for a second, but they do manage to come in through. Can the Yanidao clear the way? Yeah, buddy, full aggression, and I like to see it. Look at that absolute wipe and devastation of units inside C. They're all going to be stuck inside, and they can go up towards these archer units up top. Yeah, buddy, looking full control. Stalwarts blocking the gateways as well, so that they can't come back in on flanks. Yeah, buddy, have absolutely taken C by storm. A great position to be in if you're Yeah Buddy, and you're going to add even more time in this battle. What is ZDT going to be able to answer back with? Are they even going to send it, or are they going to have to fall back straight towards home after such a very quick, forceful entrance in towards C?
I think that was, what the fuck? Like, yeah, buddy, wiped the floor in like 2 seconds. They go like, and nothing stand there. They were just, wow.
I have never seen anybody's reaction that quickly, and there's no way you're reacting to defend that quickly. It was just instantaneous. In there, Zyhanders are straight leading the way, and they've just wiped the floor with ZT and taking heroes along the way. Now, ZT are going back towards that supply point, dealing with Ami or Gurk or whatever Joe Blade is roaming around the back. If he can get away his life, that will be something of amazing. But Ami can't, will be taken out. And now ZT looking to come back at them, though. They've got units from that supply point, and now Do they start going back at this? They do. They're bringing cavalry. They're bringing this the stalwarts back into the battle, and all of buddy units are inside. Yet to take down this breach on the right hand side, so only got one way in for now, but that breach will eventually fall. And now you've got two ways in, and ZT surely don't defend inside here now, do they? Is that their
They will
opportunity?
defend behind the C point. That's usually the case. Either you defend on C or behind the C walls, because that's usually the best spots you can pick on the map here for the defending side, based on them not being like easily targeted by the trap. Oh, one guy has a connection problem. That's rough, but happens to the best of us.
On ZT side, by any chance? Unfortunately.
Yeah, maybe this is the opportunity we need here.
Take it. Take the advantage. Get the boost. Speed your way in, and just make sure that they can't get back into the battle. Use advantage for sure. We've seen that happen on the last battle with ZT and Y. So serious, you said that they had one player that couldn't take part in pretty much two of the other maps after the first one. So yeah, that's unfortunate, and it just happened. This is the joys of online gaming and online tournaments and such like. But we've got to see what buddy have got to do here. They've got plenty of chances to use all of their artillery now and start spamming just through that wall. You're going to have the muskets up top. I'm assuming that's Ami and Girk that's picked them up as well, just to deal even more damage. Down below, and that's Cinetic there. Sorry, actually, medium armor, isn't it, for muskets? It's not light armor.
Medium armor.
Yeah. So it's
medium armor.
definitely not going to be in Girk, because they were obviously running around as dual blades. So my head is gone a little bit minced. I forget all about.
Depending on the situation, you often see the competitive players switching their weapons based on them being available for their armor sets. So you often see dual blades changing from longbow to dual blade based on them being more available or usable in the situation.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and this is why I was thinking Amir would have switched to a musket, but then he can't because he's not medium armor. Possible. But yeah, that being said, there's plenty of muskets on that wall that will start sending shots down, also pinning in players so that people can get their mortar shots on and use them trebs as well, because there's plenty of them to use still in this battle. ZT though are way to be the aggressors, looking to try and go and bring the fight towards you, buddy. Everybody's going to be spamming that attack, making sure they're in preparation for it. The stalwarts have managed to get some good headway though inside this point, and that's going to be right in the way of that treb. Maybe that was part of the plan here from buddy, very much baiting them in to that gateway so that they could do even more destruction with them trebs, and that is exactly what has just happened. There you go. You can see them winning the fight. The stalwarts on that right stairwell though are facing the wrong direction, and ZT do find a way in, and also coming in from that front gateway. Can they find the opportunity to start wiping the floor with buddy inside what was already captured? See, looking like it's working out. The Yanyado is still managing to do some good work, but not enough to deal with all of the units. There's another unit coming in now, though. The cavalry charge comes down the stairwell, but met to stalwarts. But he's still holding their own here and are winning the battle in terms of heroes as well. It is 11, make that 12 now versus 9 as another one starts to respawn in from ZT, but they're going to be getting picked off as quick as possible, and buddy have the unit advantage as well. That being said, let's go and pull up the unit advantage just to see what tier units we have in this battle remaining, as tier 5 are pretty much run out here from ZT. We've got all but 1.5 units left of tier 5. Tier 4, very little as well. The majority of their units is bolstered by that tier 2 unit, 229 of them. So you take them out of that battle, really only 400 viable tier units to try and take buddy seriously here and trying to stop them in this push. But buddy's now forcing their way towards the supply point, dealing with what could be the remaining remnants of ZT. Not very much left in this battle for them. Not very many heroes left at this point in time as well. Still down to 12. Buddy just being fully aggressive with this and very quick, and making sure that they can deal with not letting anybody retreat out of this battle. Cavalry charge coming from the back. Though ZT gets a cross charge. The unit's facing the other direction. That's another good cavalry charge coming in. Next is a YYD, and they're going to be able to find that destruction that they've been doing this whole time. A good trade for them. They've actually got these numbers back down a little bit in their favor. Don't think the reaction time was there for buddy, but they're still winning the battle overall.
But you need to look or pay attention to the good old Rattan pikemen. Their damage will deal a lot over the time also. The supply is now captured by Buddy, but it's still all the Rattan pikemen, they're gonna deal a lot of damage over the time, and you can see them slowly winning this fight in the end. Just based on all the dots going on here, and it's really, really a pain in the butt right now for them to deal with. All the Rattan pikemen just delaying this push so much, and therefore the special units or the sergeants can easily go in. Not special units, but Reaper, and then also the sergeants doing a lot there, ending them up with winning the fight, actually, which is like
Oh my.
really, really hard. But now they're running into the trap again. So ZT is not giving them an inch here. They're not even trying to be like, we are the defenders. There's no thing like defending. There's only being the aggressor or being the bitch from the other side. So they're not being the B word. They're going directly for every aggression they can take, and therefore just not showing any weakness. Just going every time, pushing every inch back. Don't show any weakness. We are men. We are born to be alive. We are born to dominate here this battlefield, and therefore not giving them anything. Right now, push a little bit too far again.
Yeah,
So,
just a little bit. I can't believe they've defended that so well. ZT looking great here for now, even with the little units and little amount of heroes left. They've got 13. I feel like if we pull up the hero kills, I feel like they obviously disconnected one, but I think somebody must have died 3 times. There you go. ZT does have a member out of the battle completely. The other one is slowly counting down, but he'll be back into that battle soon enough. Nobody else, so units actually available for some of these players as well, which makes it a massive task for them to try and hold off. Trebs coming in, we'll deal with the remainder now. Yeah, buddy, have to set up for what could be their final push, and they have to start going towards home. You're seeing them making that way in towards that breach this time, and now that that's there, that's probably a good opportunity. Who cares about the supply point? If you go up the breach towards that home point, you're going to be play players straight away off of that point on that defense, straight through that gateway, because they're going to have to go towards home, where it is more important to defend rather than the gateway. And the Treb does come in, does deal some damage a little bit, but nothing major towards that unit of stalwarts. Yeah, buddy, go on, do it quickly. Go straight up to your right-hand side. Force your way in towards home.
now they're
Pizzetti are
already
now
retreating. They need to run these units down to pick up the units being left there. Run there, boy, run. One musket player seeing his opportunity and using it, but everybody else should be faster. Yikes.
Yep. Treb's too late. The artillery is just too late. They'll get themselves in, but yeah, buddy, will get the chance to get the supply point, regather their health, get some more units, maybe the units that they're going to use to this final push. They've got 5 full minutes to do it. And on terms of units, let's pull up the units once again because we must be very close. Yeah, there we go. 96 to 179. But you've also got to think there's the added 100 tier 5 units as well in this battle. Tier 2 units have been good. They've done well for them, but will it do well on what could be this final push here from Yeah Buddy? This push, the pit determines whether they stay in this grand final or whether they will be beaten and ZT will take it in sweep fashion. You're going to have to see. Yeah Buddy, get yourself up. Still got 5 pieces of artillery. It's still 3 more trebs to use. You're going to be waiting till you start making these pushes, and units are clustered up here before you get that treb used for sure. ZT looking towards the gateway as their defensive structure. Nobody in that little alleyway and inside that little courtyard that you used to see people keeping their units in. But that is going to be obviously changed around depending on where they see the opposition moving to. 2 longshots keeping units over this side of the gate just to make sure that people defend that side. Yeah, buddy, getting their artillery set up, getting the units in their front line sorted as well as they start making their way forward with heroes towards that point, in towards that tree. And then we just see it in the background. You're seeing 2 different ways of attack there, moving in. And now, yeah, buddy, managed to get one of the Spartan heroes tucked in. There's a scimitar class in there as well. If they could find them a couple of kills onto these heroes, they do. That's going to give them an advantage overall in terms of heroes. Now they take the fight towards that home point. What unit's going to come out on top here? The Zeinhander's going to come in. The stalwarts coming from the gateway. They've made their way in. Yeah, buddy, wiping the floor with the units of ZT. They're going to cover over the home point. And now deal with the final members remaining. 9 heroes left alive. Make that 8 as Babylon will find another kill. They've got very little units to take this battle. Another hero will fall from ZT. Yeah, buddy, capturing that home point, but the longsword will stop it for a second. ZT's got a couple of heroes in and around this time, but also trying to bait as many players as possible so they can stay that time ticking. But with 3 minutes left on the clock, there's plenty of time to capture this home point. Only 3 heroes. Can they stay alive? Sure, the longsword is doing a phenomenal job at doing it to keep himself alive, keeping the heal ability going. Stalwarts on that defense are going to start to get onto the point, but there's only 1 or 2 of them left remaining. Ladies and gentlemen, he will eventually fall, and yeah, buddy, we'll take this to a map 4. We're going to see Reginopolis once again, and they're going to be on the defense this time around. And Girk gets your MVP status: 76 unit kills, 1 hero kills, 150 for Babylon and kills unit wise. But there's even better than that. You're going to see 160 from Upsk, and Senecta wasn't far behind with 157 unit kills. Them being tier 3 units as well, though, involved. But yeah, overall, a good performance from them. Hero kills, a massive 2 lazy. Big up to you. 8 hero kills with that scimitar class setup. Well played to you. Over on the other side, your scimitar class is an MVP for the defense. 3 hero kills and 85 unit kills, but there's a massive 171 unit kills from the defensive side from that glaive. No, sorry, from the Spartan class. And down below, the glaives actually got 117. It was close. That was the other way around. The numbers were flipped in my eyes, and we're getting ourselves confused. But there we go. ZT's Pike does get 4 hero kills as well as their overall hero killer. But yeah, a good fast approach towards C, which is definitely out of the ordinary. We're not used to seeing that very often, and it caught them by surprise. ZT were wiped, and they managed to defend a little bit longer behind the walls of C, but not enough to hold off the final push of buddy. They had plenty of units to take that final battle. You seen it? It was about 395 to 255, 100 of which of them, 255 were tier 2 units. For ZT, made it very difficult in that defense in the end. Let's go to the post battle, Bruder, and we can talk through the difference this time around that the battle commenced in.
Starting A and B for free, nothing challenge. Classic setup on C. Yeah, buddy, casually putting down the supply point, just prepping, going for the supply at the same time, and then just wiping the fucking floor with them. Holy moly, the first push was like, what in the hell is happening? Talking about sleeping from my side and then people being awake, and then yeah, buddy, just going full explosion. Just going in there and just no problem. This is like you know, like like people being in the like special forces. That's basically what's happening. Flashbangs going in, people going in, like arrested, killed. No, nobody's in game. Yeah? No, nobody's surviving this. God dang it! If you weren't there, you should be. You should be. If you missed it, god dang it! Shame on you.
Yeah. That is taking it by force. That's exactly how they did it there for sure. Definitely finding that momentum and trying to do it in the quickest fashion possible, which definitely swung the tide in their favor. It definitely catches people off guard, and ZT were not ready for it. I don't think I was ready for it. I think it's the quickest push I've seen being made by any units of, especially the fact that it was infantry. And yeah, you've seen them all prepping it before they got there, and then before you see it, are we blanking? You missed it. That's how quick it went, and very, very good strategy in an attack there for Tunko and his buddy's side. Now they've kept themselves in this. They've got themselves an opportunity now. They have to defend it. Are the opposition ZT gonna be able to come as swift and as fast as they did on C? Because defending C is probably one of the easier things to do in Regionopolis. Home is very difficult for the most part because by the time you get there, you don't really have units to defend it, which makes it harder. But in C, you've got the supply point close by. You can get in and out. You get your units swapped over. You got the chance to try and bait them in and out and just use that to your advantage. So hopefully, but he's got a strategy up their sleeves here for this one to take this to the Grasslands Grand Final, which will be absolutely phenomenal to see going the distance, because these two teams have definitely shown their might throughout these battles and throughout the whole CBL 2025. Lots of not a lot of their battles, they've not really dropped very many maps in the grand scheme of things. But between the two sides, and obviously in these finals and the knockout stages, is where it's got a little bit tighter and there's a little bit closer matches. But for the most part, nothing really bother both of these sides until now, which you can see as the stat score states. Obviously, it's 2-1 in favor of ZT. It's still match point. Nevertheless, there for ZT, though, and it's still Yeah Buddies to try and take this to make it an overall 0-0 Grasslands finale, which we are really looking forward to see, chat. I'm hoping you're just as excited as we are, because brother is clearly excited, and hopefully we're going to see more of that excitement going into their defense.
For sure, I want to see everybody right now spamming like reverse hype, reverse wipe, reverse right. Oh, gonna be like going for Grassland is gonna be so epic. Going like 2-0, everybody like, oh no, they're not gonna making it, and then you go like, kabam, and you're picking it out. I would love to see.
That's how I imagined your face there. It's like,
Yeah, that's basically me. A little bit more with like red hat and being like clearly closely to exploding, and then Markov G being like, okay, that's the end cap. They're slowly capping me, be like in the back already being muted, like, yeah, let's go. So really, really hard to hold my emotions right now. But it's good. It's okay. You're keeping it at ground level and me just losing it in the end.
yeah, definitely exciting. That is definitely what needs to be brought to it, though. The excitement definitely is making it more and more interesting for sure. And I like the fact that it is something different. We've seen again, like, no matter how many games of CBL you're watching or casting over, everything, no matter what, seems to be bringing something different. The change of meta also makes differences as well. And that clearly changes how people decide to attack, defend, or do whatever when it comes to the map and the play style. It is great to see, and I'm really further enjoyed watching that final map and that last map there. So not the final map, because it's not the final map, because there is still potentially two more maps to be watched here, as well as we've got another Regionopolis with Yeah Buddy now looking to try and show how to defend Regionopolis now in comparison to what ZT did. Hopefully for them, they want to get that defensive win and take it to that Grasslands grand final and decide on it in a field battle where they've really been quite dominating. But I feel like coming up against them, two of them, they've seen Zeti using the use of cavalry so well throughout every single match, right? When it comes to that Grasslands, that'll be a difficult task for Yeah Buddy, I feel like, compared to what we've seen them being pretty convincing wins on most of their games that went that distance. And normally it's only been against Why So Serious. So, I mean, the second team in the region they've come up against, and they've pretty much dominated the Grasslands. But Zeti's got to be a different kettle of fish.
Yeah, but not talking about the game. Gonna head into the second giveaway and our last giveaway for today. 99 treaties. So spam 99 in the chat again, and we're gonna search for someone who's gonna take it home and get it. So the last one was the good name of. Let me look it up again. Hectrandir, you still need to message us, so please reach out to me to receive your rewards. You are still in the chat, so be aware of you winning it. And yeah, it's I'm losing it. People already writing that I'm a child in the chat. That's okay for me. Me being excited just because I still have joy in my life doesn't mean that I'm young, but I enjoy it. So let me be, and that's fine with me. So you're keeping you cool all over this, and I don't know how you're doing it, but in the end, for me, my little child, my inner child is getting so excited every time seeing somebody performing that good and going so strong in this, and I think they well deserve the hype and the me being excited at least behind it. If you're keeping it cool at home and snacking on your nuts, that's fine. Keep it cool. But me, I gonna explode every time I see something like this happening on my screen, because that's how I am about my emotions about this right now happening.
I guess I'm just a cool, calm, and collected kind of guy. That's just the way it is. Maybe it's just the fact I'm used to this, right? I'm used to being in front of the screen and just expressing what's happening and keep emotions to a bare unbiased scenario. I think that's what I'm trying to be. Although I am really hyped that buddy, I've managed to win that one the way that it did, and keeping the momentum going and keeping the chance of seeing even more action of CBL on our hands. I actually was expecting it to be over with quite quickly the way that ZT had started it. Now we're going to go to what could be map 4, maybe even a map 5, which I'm looking forward to seeing if that is the case. Although, what is it? Yeah, buddy, going to have to do in this defense. Is ZT going to be able to have a strategy similar to what buddy did and managed to force their way in as quickly as that? But I'm stoked for it. No matter what happens, wherever it goes, it's going to be a good one. I'm sure. But it shouldn't be too far longer anyway, chat. But make sure you're spamming 99 in the chat anyway for your chance to win. 99 treaties is going to be the last opportunity to do so. Make sure you also use the gift code above because you can also give yourself an added one there. And if you win the 99, there's 100 total treaties. It's going to get you some good doctrines up there. And then, yeah, we're just going to see where we go into this one. What battles will commence? What units will be brought to the battle this time round? And chat, I like waffles, okay? That is why I do so much of this chatting, because I like waffles. They're just great. Like, I mean, waffling is the best thing to be ever brought out. If you've not got a waffle machine, get yourself invested in one, chat, because that's the way you learn it. You just get a lot of waffles and they just keep speaking, eh, brother? Because that's what we're here for. What else are we going to do? Well, we sit and wait. I mean, that's the whole point of being a waffler.
Not being a
Yeah.
waffler. You're gonna be a Conqueror's Blade Giga Chat, build a supply and rush C in 2 seconds. So, still, I hope Buddy is taking this energy they just showed to the next match and gonna be as aggressive as CT showed us behind C and just not giving them an inch, showcasing what they can bring up with the good old supply build up and then just going full monkers with the fastest destroy of an enemy setup I ever witnessed in the CBL. So holy moly. And I hope they keep it up, this energy. After this, they a little bit, they took their time with the Rattan Pikemen, but I think it's just them being like overrun by their own strategy in their head. Be like, I mean, they were so fast, even the internet connection for one guy of the opponent just disconnected. It was like, snap, energy lost. They took all the energy, so the energy of the router of the enemy team was like snapping out, and therefore ending them up with a great push and then taking their good time. But still, I want to see them using this energy right here, right now, bringing it to this and pushing it.
They need some Ridder energy at this point. You've got so much hype, and they're going to be. But then sometimes you just need to be cool, calm, and collected as well, right? You need to be thinking about it at the right time. They were cool, calm, and collected prior to the push, and then that's when the hype of Ridder came out there as well. Just like, you know what, force away, go, 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 quick, like we're in, and then that was it. They secured it, and then they just set themselves down, slowed it back down again, and made sure they could just deal with their units and set up already. Yeah, I mean, game is finally about to commence, ladies and gentlemen, as we will be heading to our final Sage matchup, where it'll be Regionopolis once again. This time, the defenders of Yeah Buddy looking to find another opportunity to win a map here and take it to that grasslands finale. Yeah Buddy, you don't really see on that losing side very often. You don't see them at the deficit. This time, they have to back and find a reverse sweep to win this grand final. They're bringing a lot of tier 2 units again in the defense. I don't like it, but I mean, sometimes it worked. It worked for quite some time for ZT in behind C. But units wise, a lot of spear sergeants coming out. And Harpadiers, some Yanyadao, obviously from ZT. Pretty much every single member has one, even their granny. All bring in a Yanyadao to the battle. And yeah, you're going to see Alchemist. And then is that the unit that Yeah Buddy brought to the battle that had the supply point as well? No, they don't actually have that. So Yeah Buddy have it, but there isn't one there for the attacker. So it will be a different strategy that they will be bringing in. They won't be able to do it as quick and as fast and as aggressive as Yeah Buddy did. I'm sure ZT, the way that they've been playing their maps so far, they are quite quick. They are on an aggressive side, and they will probably use speed at some point. But lots of Yanya I was hoping to try and wipe the floor with the units of Yanya. Yeah, buddy, but they're inside city walls, and depending on where your position is, they might not work out for you if you are going to be stopped on the outskirts and out through these gateways. But good luck to ZT. Good luck to you, buddy. But I really do hope your buddy go on top so we see that grassland final, because it'd be the best way to end the East versus West showdown. And who comes out on top? Is it East? Is it West? We're about to find out if the ZT can finish it here, or if anybody can close it out and take it to that final game, as we will now see. Yeah, buddy, still got units and heroes up there, but they're going to start sending the units surely back to that supply point for now. But just using that pre-built artillery just to try and slow them down a little bit, waste some time.
Don't you dare thinking what could be happening on a Dunkel defense. It's
Dunkel
Dunkel.
defense.
So if you would expect something to happen,
Sally!
Dunkel will be there and be like, no, I'm gonna defend A and B because people are thinking that I'm dropping A and B. And we also saw some foreshadowing there. Amya having the supply unit again. Gonna see the old special engagement, special trooper engagement again, the 2 seconds wipe of set T. We hope so. Everybody is now just get your hands up to the air, pray to the good old Dunkel god and be like, please Dunkel, make the lights disappear for a set T team and make it darkness for everybody. So wipe out their lights, go with the supply push. They're gonna defend A and B here. Like I said before, don't you dare expecting what Dunkel will do in the defense. It's a great mind thinking about what would everybody do so I can come up with something different. You're gonna love to see it.
Dastio 2 as well in chat. You're winning the 99 treaties, so reach out to Conqueror's Blade devs and you can get your treaties. In the meantime, well, we're waiting around to see where the strategy comes out here for ZT. Have they spotted the fact that, yeah, buddy, have defensive units and you've got heroes already still baiting around that gateway on top of the wall and such like, just making sure that ZT wastes so much time. They're going to have opportunities to go in through that breach side, and that's where you're going to see ZT make their way in. Yanidao at the forefront, going to try and get in. Stalwarts there of Donkeys, so can they deal with it? Braced, ready. Dunkel's unit will fall pretty quickly because there's so much spam of Yanidao, and that's all coming all at the same time. But there's baiting the Treb in as well, so their units are going to get absolutely demolished. And now, with that much cavalry spam, I don't feel like a Dunkel strategy is a very clever strategy for this point, because that is just so many units getting wiped by that forceful push of Yanidao. Very quick, very aggressive. The Madal falling as well, and now you're going to see just a cav over commitment here. Definitely well and truly used. 5 hero kills already. Make that 6 hero kills in favor of ZT, as they will start to wipe the floor with even more. Amia will surely fall as well. Not far afterwards, you're down to 6 heroes left remaining. It's looking like ZT are just going to wipe the floor with all these heroes and units and just force their way straight towards C. Yanidao's just going on the full aggressive, and ZT are bringing just as much aggression as we expected that Yeah Buddy had brought, but Yeah Buddy's going to have to go straight out and go straight in towards defending home at this point, because they've left it so late that the units are not going to be able to get back in time. Yanidao is just absolutely roaming around, finishing off even more units inside here. And now A and B about to be captured. Look how much units are here from ZT already. This is quicker. We thought the last battle was quick. This one, we're getting A, B, C being captured. We've only been in here for about a minute and a half.
It's overcommitting. They still have the respawn on C available, so there's no point of them going beyond C right now. It's just giving away some good units, but generally speaking, both teams not giving any second thoughts for the opposing team. It's just push over push. Just 2 teams showcasing what real engagement is looking like. You don't deserve any ground here. We not letting you in there for a second.
Wipes the Yanidaos again.
It's just
devastating.
Destroying everything. Every time you see some Yanidaos going in there from left to right, and they're just using their glaives and they're just wiping the floor. Just
You just think that is it, and you think it was done, and C was about to be captured. It's literally a second away from capture, but yeah, buddy, counter the push, and all of a sudden, have got themselves back into position where they can look to defend C inside the gate or inside the walls of C, and still have the opportunity. Looking at unit wise, tier 5 in comparison is definitely well and truly favored towards yeah, buddy. So is tier 4 units, and this is what I like to see. The fact they've brought less of that tier 2 units in comparison to the attacking side, ZT are going to find it a very difficult task in the grand scheme of things if they don't get a really strong push towards C. Because, yeah, buddy, have so many strong units to answer back. Yanyudos have worked out for them as well. And yeah, it's looking good. Reginopolis definitely looking well and truly a match that could be decided and very much in favor of yeah, buddy, if after them picking it.
But then
Yep.
still, yeah, Buddy got their ground back. Now looking at 880 units being available for Yeah Buddy, 800 units being available for CT. A lot of heroes being killed from Yeah Buddy there, so Dunkel already and also Jade already looking at 2 deaths and therefore need to look really into what they're investing their lives now. And CT is like looking way more again at the just hero kills. But then C also just needs to be kept. There needs to be always one hero aware of not going or letting C alone. That is the wife you need to look out for right now. Don't let her out alone. You need to cover up for her. Somebody needs to stay on her so she doesn't feel alone. And an enemy stepping on it would just being captured for CT, getting them the better spawn to attack this. This is not available right now. Oh, they're already rushing out for it again. Like, you can't stay close or away for 1 second every time there's an engagement happening.
Why?
Going down
Why?
the stairs, Yan Yudao already being like swiping the floor again. Holy moly, it's happening so much, so intense every time, every engagement. Not an inch is gifted to one side. Next trap is set on the stairs. Yeah, buddy, you need to pull the trigger a little bit faster. Your units in the back are not doing shit right now. Supply is blocked, but I don't know if this is the call right now. If you're investing too much life into the supply block right now, there, have in mind that your heroes are dying a lot before. And then even then, the push was not that effective, and now you need to look into the counter attack of them. So I think they're gonna give up C maybe here, because based on them having no units left there.
Yeah, I feel like you would have to, but you've got stalwarts there, you've got Zykill and Militia up top now trying to deal some devastating flame damage down below, but how much for longer can they do it? They've got units heading, they've come out. Can they stay holding well here? Rat and Pike, though, once again, YYD coming from that side gate is going to be an absolute wipe here if they could keep sending some more YYD in. But that is not looking good for the Yeah Buddy side at this point in time for capturing and holding on towards or keeping hold of C. Looks like there's a couple more heroes to deal with. Ups is trying to stay alive. Is that Polax? But Barbar comes to support him as well. And actually, it is looking good here. So far, slowly but surely, they're staying alive. Yeah, buddy, are managing to hold off of these pushes. And they are managing to wipe a lot of the units. But look at the way the trades have gone as well. Unit-wise, we're pretty much even. Not far away, but we've seen it before this push had even started. The higher tier units were well and truly favored in Yeah Buddy's side. And if they wasted a lot of it from ZT here, hopefully that treb is realized and they get their unit out of the way as quickly as possible. We don't want to see some of the higher tier units fall into that trebuchet. And there we go. They get out of their way. Javamo will stay alive, pull up that units because it's very little left, I'm sure, of ZT. I feel like Grasslands Finale is a way to be on our cards here because we've got time here to look unit-wise. Crystal Production, pull them up. We'll see it. T5 units, 22 units left, 84 units of tier 4, and 143 for the defensive side. ZT are stuck between a rock and a hard place at this point in time in terms of units going into this final chance because they have to start pushing C as soon as they can to try and get time on home, but they're not going to have much units going into home.
9 minutes is plenty enough. Right now it's for the right engagement and not overstressing it based on them having 9 minutes still to like capture 2 seconds of C point. So plenty of time right now. It's about the best setup right now. It's only one push left. CT has only 250 units left. That's like nothing. Yeah, buddy, 360. That's also not that much. And then looking maybe into how many heroes are still alive and having their life, it's going to be their last push for sure. So looking at the side of Dunkel, buddy, there's a lot of people being on the second death, and Seti already being on their first death and second death, but then also not having any unit available. So if they're now going for the push, even with the people with on their second death, they're gonna, if they invest their next life there, they're just being out of it. But that doesn't matter. If you don't have any units left, you're just gonna need to fight for this in the end. There's the same engagement happening again. Now CT is well aware of it, putting the trap in early. This is going to be hurt a lot, and therefore shooting down again. But CT is still retreating because based on them being spread out, therefore facing a huge amount of units there on the top. Just some people from Yerbody just need to run through. There's the Rattan Pikeman in the end there. Second trap is going for the stairways there again. Oh boy, City is now on 200 units left. Yeah, buddy, 240 units left. Yeah, buddy, you need to look into not dying too much there. They're not giving them the space or the room to use all their stuff they left. But right now, yeah, buddy is just winning the straights here in the front, and it's looking so good, boys.
Yeah, it's so good for yeah, buddy. It's the disparity in unit selection remaining here as well. There is still Yanyi Dao though. Can KZ unit do some damage? It was starting to try and whittle down the units, but there's more Rat and Pike coming out here, and that's going to start dealing more damage. And then some more units in the back from yeah, buddy. They're actually winning, but they're losing on their hero fights at this point in time. You got to keep an eye on that. You don't want to be losing too much because even though the units disparity was different and in their favor, they lost quite a lot of units there, yeah, buddy, because of that treb. So let's pull up the units as well. Well, we're also in this battle here because look at that. You're very much even now in tier 4 and very much even in tier 5. It's all down to what you've got remaining that are lower tier units. ZT, you've got tier 1 units though, which aren't really going to do very much if you in the grand scheme of things. But it's just full aggression here from on out here for yeah, buddy. You just have to keep forcing it with your units and make sure that the trades work out for you because you'll guarantee yourself that win. Zeti down to only 4 heroes left remaining now, and you're going to have to try and whittle them down. Amia on the hunt to that poleaxe. Surely will find the kill on that hero, and there you go. That is done. Now, more and more units that are left just waiting, and by the time they respawn and get themselves set back up again, you've still got 5 minutes. It's a lot of time, but there's nothing left really between these two teams to make this battle commence, and it's going to be interesting because overall, yeah, but you have more. They have a little bit higher value, and yeah, they're in probably the driving seat at this point.
I think I need some pills for my heart after this. Holy moly! What is this for a final? What can you ask for more than this? Every engagement is just pure cinema and action. None of them is like, okay, I'm defender. I don't care. I go fucking push out. There's no room for you to place some mortars or some minutes of chilling. No. Been chilling is over. It's all aggression now. It's been aggressive.
For the most part here as well for ZT is really just heroes that they can fight with. They've got 70 units, right? And then if you think it's probably split between like 4 players in the grand scheme of things because the majority of them have lost all their units. So yeah, overall it's going to be what 11 spear sergeants, and then scroll further down that list. No, on the other side. Come on, ZT we're speaking about here. Come on, production. Listen to what we're saying. Rat and Pikeman, nothing there for the Rat and Shield. They've only got 1 set of units out. So yeah, I don't know where the other units are, but they're not brought into the battle. They've got 11 so far, and yeah, on the other side, yeah, buddy, you've got plenty. Got spear sergeants to match that spear sergeants. You've got Rat and Pikemen. You've got a few other units that you can use at least. Whereas yeah, at this point in time, Zeti just have to force it with their heroes and hopefully they get the trade and kills. And it could just be down to a team deathmatch in the grand scheme of things for both these sides.
It's for sure going to be a deathmatch. Therefore, you see Yeah Buddy already placing down their grape shots, being on the gate there. Now CT is going for the back alley there for the supply, but who cares right now? It's about all the heroes being alive in a deathmatch. Therefore, there's no supply which is needed for any side of the teams right now. It's all about them fighting it out on C. It's even now, it's gonna be sweating thing. So you can't say, oh, Yeah Buddy is winning this easy. Getting 1 pick there, really good. But now getting out the C thing, that's okay too, because it's about all the hero lives. It's about the 1v1s, all the fights happening in there. Having the Rattan Pikeman really good there in there, just getting some poison done. One guy already pulling down some arty there, but they're pushing them out again.
Oh,
Don't go into the wall, Crystal. Go into the fight. God dang it. Showing this. Guys jumping all over the place there. One guy in the back. Too lazy. He's not too lazy here. He's trying to put them down. Now they're retreating a little bit for end cap because there's already a guy on end cap. God dang it, we're sweating it off here today. Lazy
oh
is getting
my.
put to the ground. Amya is now there, but he's still alone against 2
10
short
versus
swords.
9.
Yikes,
It is going to
boys.
be a hero battle. It's going to be a hero battle. It is definitely. It is all down to this. Can they win any of these fights? If you're a Cinetic, you're all alone here as you have got barbars trying to come and help support-wise, but you've got a unit with you as well. You're just trying to fight around your unit and try and stay in between them so you're not getting picked off because that's going to be crucial. Amya, though, the Joe Blade that normally does some devastating high damage, he is going to try and help out now. And now with this going, Barbar and Cinetic have survived for long enough. I think Cinetic eventually has fallen, but oh no, Javamo is there as well. So yeah, this is just going. I don't even know where to put this. This is too close to right. This could be anybody's battle still, and it is all down to the heroes. It is pretty much them and a few sets of units just outside, which obviously in unit wise it's a favouring, yeah, buddy. But there is only a difference in 10 units, or make that 12 units exactly. It is crazy to think that 12 unit difference in the end, with 5 minutes still to go. Who kills the most heroes here is where the battle will win.
I need to call my doctor after this. This is not going well with my heart. How?
Oh, we're losing home point as well. It's getting lost. Oh, surely not.
No,
There's
that's
heroes surely
fine.
there to support it. Get back. Get back to the home. Get that defended and get yourself onto the point and kill that hero. Polak's just dancing his way around, hoping that he can stay alive and hoping that nobody else comes to help. But there's Darbell. He'll get the Polak's ult. There you're going to have Barbar coming to support it. Aoki will deal with all the damage. The Polak's will fall. They're down to 3 heroes left versus 10. I feel like, yeah, buddy, now are in the command and driving seat. Eventually, it is come down to that. Let's pull up the heroes. Let's see what units we've got as well, because the glaive is in battle. You can still see that well what's going on. But ZT still have one hero that's got 2 lives remaining. A few others just got 1 more life remaining. But a lot of the people out of the battle completely. So as I said, on the other side, yeah, buddy, I've got a lot of heroes still out of the battle, but not as much as ZT have.
Imagine going for the global final match and you just see heroes being alive.
I know.
No.
I didn't think that was going to be the case.
What the? Yikes! If you missed this match today, you better never watch CBL again, I guess, because this is something. This is history.
This is definitely history, and you can actually see some of the players. Yeah, buddy, battle already as well. ZT blue on the screen. That's why it confuses me a little bit. Why are they coming up blue? If yeah, buddy's in blue. Interesting, but yeah, there we go. They're leaving the battle. ZT. That'll be the players that can't come back into it, and it's going to be KZ just getting some extra stats to end this game. See what he could possibly do. He will fall, and that'll be the last one alive. All of ZT have left. It is going to be game 5. Ladies and gentlemen, chat. It's going to go down to the wire, a grasslands finale to determine who's the best between these two. Is it West? Is it East? We're going to find out in a grasslands. But looking at that overall score, Cinetic 6 hero kills, 146 unit kills. Good performance from him. Clapper Dragon, though, does get your MVP with 136 unit kills, 2 hero kills. And right behind him, Darbell, 209 unit kills. What a performance for you. Too lazy as well. You called him out during the battle. He was doing some good work. He wasn't being lazy whatsoever. Again, never is. He is 5 hero kills, 117 unit kills. And then go over to the opposition side where ZT did obviously fall in terms of lives. Only 1 hero that was actually 2 heroes there in the end. I think maybe 2 or 3. Yeah, 2 or 3 heroes that still had lives remaining, but wasn't going to be able to do anything. No units whatsoever. MVP gets 125 unit kills and 1 hero kill. The most hero kills, unit kills, though, does go towards the Polax. He gets 165. And then the most kills go to a tied game here between the two Scimitar and the Short Sword, who they get 5 each, but nothing to deal with in terms of heroes. Let's go look at the post-battle analysis. That'll show us more in terms of how many lives were changed hands, because the units are pretty much the exact same, almost bang on in terms of unit hero kills and unit deaths, sorry, but hero kills was the big factor.
Yeah, everything was the big factor. Just speaking about the graph showcasing, okay, 70% of the match were just push, 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 push. Just judging by the graph, you wouldn't know who initiated one push or was like the defenders push, the attackers push, the defenders push, the attackers push. Just starting the whole match up with the Yanyu Dao Giga Chat move, just overrunning. Oh, we don't need unit variety. Why shouldn't we? We just use 15 times cuff and go. You could hear the horns of Rohan in the back, going for Minas Tirith there, slaying all the orcs, orcs being yeah buddy there. Yep, there was happening a lot. Them recovering on C, pushing back to C, and then getting in hold of C. Oh, I'm losing it. I need pills, man. My heart is exploding. Going
So
back.
Go. 2 match points drops here from ZT. Now they still have a match point, but so does Yeah Buddy. We're going into a grasslands. The reverse sweeps on the cards for Yeah Buddy as well. We know how devastating they are in terms of grasslands. I have not seen a ZT grasslands. I don't know what their quality comes to it, but we know how well they are with their Yan, you know. How much of them are they going to bring to this battle, or is it going to be a little bit more dagger axe lancers, a few other lancer cavalry brought to the fray? Because we know how quickly Yeah Buddy dismantled why it's so serious last time in grassland. It was so quick, and it was pretty much you take your eye off it for a second, you turn back, the game was done. And that's just how unfortunate it was for why so serious. But an opposition like ZT, knowing how well they've been using their cavalry throughout every single one of these matches, all 4 matches that they've had have been very much dominated by the use of Yanidel. So that's going to be interesting. And going into the grasslands finale, hopefully that's not too much longer as well. We'll get yourself into that finals chat. Let's get your predictions in here. Let's see. Who do you think's got this? Is Yeah Buddy winning their map, and then ZT winning their map, both attack and defense, showing why they picked it and the reason behind it. Definitely had the strategies set up for them. And now grasslands, strategy wise, is it all going to be different? It's going to be based on side, based on opportunities, because we've not really seen what these are going to be able to do against one another in a grasslands open field battle.
Yeah, field battle. Like I said before, going for the reverse vibe. All my prayers were heard. Me being there in the back. I got you. Somebody is already writing in the chat. I need to get bald after this match. I'm not yet ready to get my hair invested into this. Not yet. Eh?
Have you got any hair left after that? You've been grabbing it and pulling it out.
No, I was just pulling my chest hair, man.
Well, I don't have
one.
any of that, so I can't even do that.
I'm basically a white monkey. So I have hair all over the place. No problem for me picking
Too
all
much
night
information.
long.
Chat don't want to hear it.
That's okay. Some information being spread out there already. Me being an ape.
I'm hearing
that's
hairy
okay.
feet.
I'm being the foot model for the new foot soldier.
That's protection to stop you from getting friction burn.
Yeah, but that's basically not you being the foot model there because of your dirty socks. Somebody pointed out also.
I mean, that's what happens when I go in my house. That's what
Yeah.
happens when I go in my house with dirty.
So you're not
socks
even
on, I
cleaning
guess.
your house, yeah?
No, I'm a filthy man.
Just
So,
keeping.
of course. I have a 2-year-old around the house. You can clean your house as much as you wish. It's still dirty all the time. It don't matter. There's juice everywhere. There's chocolate getting flown across the floor. There's food scattered everywhere because he decides I don't want this and throws it in the plate in the air. And there's rice and there's curry and there's it's dirty wherever you go, no matter what you try to do. And the wife's really good at keeping it up and track with it. But there's just not enough time. There's just not enough time in the day to clean all the day and every day. Not when you're working, you're showcasing this wonderful talent that we have on show here in the CBL, and it's been a phenomenal year, right? It's been a phenomenal competition throughout from the get-go. I mean, every single match we've seen has been very much entertaining all the way through, whether they've been quick 2-0s in the best of 3s, whether they were 3-0s in the best of 5s, but they've all been good matches. None of them have been absolutely devastating. None of them have been to the stage where we've been like, oh, it felt like pointless even coming here. It's all been a good show that we've been putting on, and fair play to every single team that have been involved from the start all the way through. Obviously ZT and Yeah Buddy are now fighting out to see who will come out on top between the two sides, and it's on a grasslands finale where I was wanting it to go from the get go. Although the wife's probably like, we were meant to be doing something today, but we're not having anything because these games are going longer and longer and longer, and it just keeps commencing, and it doesn't want to give us up. Everybody in chat wants to be kept involved in it, and we want to keep, don't we, chat? Don't we, Bruder? We love it.
I loving it for sure. I'm loving it, but I also need to take a shower and my heart medicine after this. I'm not.
I smell you.
The classic joke
It's all
about
that. It's all that chest sweat.
yeah, it's all that chest sweat. That's rude, my boy. Coming from a Scottish man, calling
It's
me.
Scottish
is-
hairless man. I'd love to be able to show you chat, right? That I've been taking socks off though, right? But I'd be a very good foot model because literally from my ankle, see where your socks would sit at your ankle, from down below, there is literally no hair. It's like a crisp line of hair where my legs, or my hair on my legs stop, and then my socks it should be. It's like if I've wore socks all my life and never taken them off. It is very weird, and I don't know how that's happened. But it's like there's no hair that grows past my sock level. It's so weird. But yeah, I'd be a very good foot model for these foot posts for sure.
yeah.
You're getting images in your head now. There.
Yeah, I
What are
need
you
to
talking
get
about?
my mouth water back into. No, I'm just stoked about now witnessing field battle. It's gonna be a heartbreak. Every time we witnessed Buddy on a field battle, it was also like very, very close to the thing in the end. I think they dominated the thing, basically, but even then, it's like witnessing field battles on grassland is always being like, oh, where to put the camera? It's multiple angles happening, and so it's like, oh, I'm so excited to see what's happening there. It's like, oh, I can't even find the right words right now. I need to be calm or collected, or I could drink another coffee just
Oh,
for
I could
this.
do with one of those. You're gonna
Uh,
send one my way. I need a good coffee. Not that I need woken up because this game has definitely done that for us, as well as your energy bring to hype that you got because you're so glad that it's gone the distance and we've got to see this comeback from you, buddy. So far, it is classed as a comeback at this point in time. Is it going to be a full comeback? Is it going to be the full reverse sweep for you? I'm sure you're hoping it is because you want to see our side at least come out on top for a change because we're used to seeing the opposition coming out on top, showing fine well why the East is best, but hopefully now the West is best is what we're looking to find out. As EU have already won their region, they've already showed that two of their players teams will get through into what was the regional cross regional chat fights, and then now it's just going to be whether they can go out and secure it here against this Chinese side, which I'm hoping for my perspective as well. I do. I'd like to see it happen as well for us on the West because we're used to be on the losing side in CBL, and we don't want that. Not this time around. Yeah, buddy,
nope,
Dunkel, come on,
nope.
strategize, figure it out, find a way around it, and see who is better with your cavalry. A lot of chat saying there's going to be an easy enough win here. They're good at field battles, but I mean, chat, we know they're good at field battles, right? We know this for sure. We've seen them, but we've not seen what ZT are going to bring to the table. You know, we don't want to get jinxed them, right? Let's not jinx them, chat.
No, but generally speaking, in our meme language, our Europe will send you back to the dark ages because darkness is our good old Danke. So if you don't invent the light switch, you have no position or you have no counter to our five-head Dunkel from Buddy, and therefore all our prayers right now, all our hands, all our energies, and you even making it darker for them. So just everybody dim the lights,
Oh,
close
darkest
all the
night.
windows, make it as dark as possible in the rooms. Don't let any light in right now because it's about darkness. Yeah, close your eyes.
That's as
Don't
dark as
look
I'm
at
going to
this.
get it in here. I
Just
can't see
listen to
nothing.
nothing. It's just darkness here. And that's basically we all hope is gonna happen to CD here. Them slowly closing their eyes and being like, it's just darkness. And then you hear is lonely, but still louder, getting and therefore taking
So
the
much
win.
hype there from you, brother. We actually couldn't hear you because it was peaking so high.
It's okay. You can just imagine a 5-year-old screaming "Yeah, buddy" in the background, really loud. That's me basically right now. Yeah, basically. Yeah, buddy. But
Oh,
being really pumped, being like taking all the steroids that are available on the market.
yeah. Well,
But go. Losing the words right now, going into the
I don't
final
know.
in grasslands.
I was trying to read something at the side there that was just posted, but because I've got my bottle in the way, I have to kind of move and squint. And I couldn't read it, but hey ho. Just zooming on the fight says chat, but we're all right. We'll get that. We'll sort it. Don't worry. We'll zoom in as much fights as possible. But grasslands, there's so many things happening. Sometimes remember, chat, it is difficult to watch just one fight because sometimes there could be 3 fights happening at one point, and all points getting or a point getting captured that is crucial to the fight. So the wide cam is the best cam. That's all I'm going to say, chat. Right? Don't 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 diss us, right? We know what we're doing. We know what we're talking about. But if somebody just asks scores as well, I swear people are blind, right? Uh, God, right? Community, I think you need to wake up, open your eyes, because I know we've done. Brothers just tells you to get it as dark as you possibly can. Maybe that's why you couldn't see the scoreboard because you're trying to support Dunko with the darkness and make sure you can't see it. But it's 2-2, and we're going into grasslands, and we want to find out if West is best for sure. Don't know how much longer we're gonna have to wait, but can we throw to a wee quick break before we get that game? And when the game starts off, we'll send you straight into that grasslands. No, we can't. I'm told in production. He says no. Crystal just wants me to waffle even more for you, chat.
Yeah.
Maybe he just likes the sound of my voice as well as we do. See, you complain about the game not starting. You get the game starting with grasslands will be set. And we're gonna see tons of cavalry being set up. Camos as well brought out for ZT. And are going to be an interesting strategy to see if that works out. Hussars, Yanudel, some spear sergeants as well, but also pikemen as well for the rat and pike. On the other side, though, attackers, less green units, which is a good thing, but also they've got Yanudels, they've got camos, they've got some more infantry this time round in comparison to the side of ZT. So this could be an interesting game for sure. Anybody's hands and anybody's game to win. Who's going to have the momentum to start off with the units that are picking at the start? The quickness and the speed is definitely going to come from that ZT side, just because there's a lot more infantry on Buddy's side, but they're bringing a lot of ballistas. And they're looking to find some hero kills early on, I'm sure, because that could be devastating and could be the swinging tide of the battle. Brother, any unit selection there that you feel like is very interesting coming into this?
Yeah. So a lot of cavalry being picked for CT, but that's no shocker for us because everybody should be aware of what they are planning on doing all over the matches. Doesn't matter if it's field battle or normal sieges right now, or normal sieges, me saying about tournament, normal fights for them in the cities. They are bringing a lot of cavalry, so therefore Dunkel bringing a lot of anti-cavalry to the field battle, which is really good. But then also a lot of Rattan pikemen on the side of CT. So they need to be aware that the Chinese bringing a lot of Rattan pikemen there. They're gonna be a pain in the butt to deal with, and therefore gonna be really interesting. Already we see Buddy going here fully on A, as I can see it. No, A and C.
Yep,
So
you're
the
right.
classic A
You
and
were right
C.
about A. On the screen, we could see A for sure.
Yeah,
That's where
but
they're going.
then minimap. C, it's not challenged at all. Now CT is all going back from B to A, so they're being aware. They don't care about the points. They're going for the A fight, and they're the better unit trade. Lazy already going back to sleep, back to bed basically. He can go there. Then they rotating. Amiya is now rotating back to B, therefore fighting also for B. A is being captured, or not being captured. A is being fought about. B is being captured in a second now. C is already captured by
Oh,
Yabadi
triple
now.
cap almost was about to commence there because the heroes of ZT will get off of A for a second, but if with B and C being captured, there's a chance here for that quick push from Buddy, like they did last time round against Why So Serious and force that home point push. They will lose the fight in the battle on towards A, but they've also lost a lot of heroes in that in that first initial engagement. Unfortunate for them. Now they're going to send units and heroes, Amiya and Girk, looking to go deal with the camos. They're on their own. No, they're taking units of Orochi with them, but they might actually get picked off. There's players on that supply point as well, waiting to see if they can hold that supply for a little bit longer to make sure they can deal with the camos. The camos are starting to get up and move. Is there an opportunity to get on and kill some of these units in the meantime? Amia and Kirk are very clever. They know they've got Yanyados to deal with, but can they actually hold off that amount of
No.
pressure? The answer to that is definitely no. You have a fall, Keen Jade fall as well there. And in this battle, you've got 2 capture zones, but you're losing units very, very quickly, and you're already down a deficit of about 300 units.
Yeah, the first trade on A was so bad. They just lost a lot of units. They lost of models just to get C and B in the end, which they could have maybe had for a better fight. But them being out-rotated on A, they're a lot, and now also investing a lot of lives again for A and something like this. Maybe the CT is not fast enough to set up for A again, but I think they're gonna manage to be there in time. And
Go for
also
the triple
some.
cap. Go for the triple
Well,
cap.
yeah,
There's
they're
an
doing,
opportunity. There's an
but there's
opportunity. Come on, get that hero off that point, and then you're sorted. ZT, though, have got so much cavalry coming back in support, and that's the joys of having cavalry in a battle like this. You're there very, very quickly to stop it. And yeah, buddy, could be absolutely devastatedly wiped out again for a second time. And that's not what you want to be seeing, as B will start to be captured as well from ZT. In that meantime, battle is definitely going in the favor of ZT, and unit trades are phenomenally one-sided. I don't think ZT are having to worry about too much. Just push that 2 button, get the Yanni now spamming and swinging their glaives into the enemy to destruct and destroy. And this is exactly what they have done to every single unit they've came up against. Yeah, buddy, let's pull up the units, because I feel like unit-wise, that is a big trade and unit swing there. That's tier 4. A lot of, yeah, buddy, just losing about 200 odd units just there, and that little battle there. And B will be captured here
it's
for ZT.
so smart. Do you see the flank happening in the back there? Anya and Grid being in.
Nobody
Okay, we don't
knows
tell the
it.
stream. Nobody notices. Okay, now one spear player is already aware of it. I think they are all aware of it based on them running in the direction. Ah, that would be the game-changing play there in the back, but it's not happening, guys.
Yep, it's not going to happen. The flank won't work because there's going to be plenty of cavalry to deal with them. They're trying to go even further around, and honestly, the trees does not disguise you. You do not become invisible, Amiet. There is no way of hiding from this scenario. You're going to get a cavalry charge coming straight out towards your Yanudel, though. And now you're going to have to try and deal with what's going on elsewhere on this map. Over towards B is where the pressure is push is coming here from. Yeah, buddy. They're obviously at this deficit just now in terms of units. They're at the deficit in terms of the points being captured as well. And nobody's got any opportunity to try and sneak towards B. Amiet's still rotating around the back there with the Yanudel as well. But he's not going to get an opportunity. It's just spear sergeants on the point, though. It's just a glaive. And if he's managed to get chased down, his unit's going to be picked off slowly. That Hussar unit that's fallen in the background. Can he get his Yanudel to that point quickly enough? And can he capture some ticks? I very much doubt that's going to be the case, because the Hussar charge is going to come out. Yanudel are not going to win that battle if it's a charge. And there we go. Amiet will be losing all of his units. Managed just to sneak out, but how much longer can he stay alive for? The Scimitar class sitting back, relaxing, potentially trying to chase him down eventually. And we're going to have the units chasing down Hamia. He's lost his unit for free. Doing as what he could possibly do was the best thing, but it didn't work out, sadly, for him. And I assume the other Gurk's unit, like, there was more than one of them around there, and he must have lost his unit as well. Let's pull back out towards B, though, because this is where everything could potentially start happening now. As ZT are becoming the aggressors, they're starting to push their units towards that home point, and it's all down to what buddy have to answer back with. Unit-wise, it is a big disparity in terms of overall numbers. Where do we see this going, Bruder? Have they got the chance to hold this zone?
CT is really looking really strong here. They're pulling really fast the trigger on the end cap, despite them also triggering the trigger on the supply there. So they are distracting the enemies. Right now, yeah, but he needs to have one guy all the time on the C point to get it directly defended, therefore ending them in a 14 versus 15 if CT is really putting through with it. And they're really looking really strong here. There's a lot of Yanyu Dao now going into the spear sergeants, therefore they're gonna wipe the floor with the spear sergeants. Yanyu Dao being really, really strong right now. CT is looking so strong here, but yeah, buddy also pulling now right now. They're blobbing up their units, really doing well there. A lot of cavalry is trying to search for a different angle there. This might be the first fight which is going out in the yeah body advantage and looking really good, but then also on the supply, this is already being blocked by CT there. If they don't kill too many CT people here and just the units, they might be able to push back on B and A, but they're just killing also every hero. Them respawning here on the corner give them the advantage, but in the end, if CT is doing the same thing again, they're gonna end up winning this match based on Yabadi not having any units left to push back for B and A, and CT is just having 400 units advantage right now. So this is really good for them. Just keeping the pressure on side of Yabadi, giving them not the room to maybe reverse wipe them, because right now Yabadi is hoping for the last push in the end happening and therefore getting A and B. That's going to be their winning condition right now, because I don't think there's any point where they're winning about capturing the base or A and B. So therefore the only hope they're having right now is capturing 2 points at the last second. And that's why CT is right now pushing that aggressively, to giving Yabadi not the room or the potential for the last push. And therefore they're just going to do the same thing again and just trying to zero out the units on Yabadi's side, so there's no chance for them winning this. And that's basically what CT is gonna keep on doing right now. Just pushing into the end cap there, just trying to get it out and don't risk the last fight happening for the potential of Yabadi coming out victorious. So they're just gonna invest, despite them maybe losing the fight, doesn't matter right now. It's about them just trying to kill as many unit models as possible.
Yeah, exactly that. And they're doing just that. They're doing a fantastic job. They're trying to take away Social Hippie away with his Hussar unit as well. But the heroes are what could potentially come down to. Yeah, but he's down to 14 just now as well. I mean, this looks like somebody has either not came back into it or has just recently died. But as the fight comes in, Keen Jade will fall as well. Opportunity definitely coming for ZT as they found multiple hero kills and the hero wipes on the point. They're down to 10 left remaining. There's too many heroes, too many units to deal with here from ZT. Yeah, buddy, definitely looking like they will be well and truly wiped out on this point. And there's very little units that's going to come back into this battle because most of the players are dead at this point in time. By the time the timer counts down, that's some tick progression made. And there's the home point capture slowly going in. ZT wipe the floor with the units. I'm trying to charge from the back with that Hussar charge. That's going to get some good numbers, but it's not going to stop it for too long. They've already lost plenty of percentage. And they don't have any units. They don't have any heroes yet, buddy. Fortunately to say, the reverse sweep doesn't look like it's on the cards, as ZT are looking finally to close off after having match point, but don't write them off yet now here. Yeah, but he come up with the cavalry, come up with some camos, kind of get the embrace on the point, stops that tick, but you're not going to have a position to be able to take the opposition at least down to halfway. You need to get it to 50% almost to try and win this now, and with 158 units and 8 heroes left remaining, I can't say it's the hardest task to be done. No way in hell that we're going to see this. I feel like it's just going to be a battle for the heroes now. Just trying to find some extra value on that point with 1 minute 57 seconds left to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, we can already safely say we're going to crown our champions. Maybe East is better than West overall. And after all, it came down to the Grasslands finale to decide it. But ZT have definitely shown their dominance. The cavalry spam all series has been phenomenal from them. They've been finding so much good usage of them, Yan Yadao, and that is what's won them these battles. In the grand scheme of things, it was just too much infantry. It just couldn't deal with that pressure and the quick rotations that was coming out from ZT.
Yeah, it's generally looking really bad right now for Buddy, sadly. But overall, CT just played this so good, adapting so fast on the A push, just getting it out. Then all the Yan Yudao going left and right, swiping wiping the floor. Holy moly, me mixing up the words and the letters there. And therefore just showing how dominant they are. Right now, they're also capturing C right now. I think there's no shame in letting them do this because it's already over. There's no way Buddy is taking this back, and it's like they're just showcasing how dominant they are and how good they're reacting there. It's really, 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 really well deserved. win there from their side, just showcasing how good they are. Yeah, but he really showcased that they picked Regionopolis for a reason. Them just showing what is in them, not giving them an inch also. But now it's CT, and CT is gonna be the winner of our Worlds Finals, basically. CT showcasing that they're really, really strong. Western side this time really showcasing what they can be done. And yeah, buddy really was close to maybe making it a win in the end. If they just won one map on Walford, they would have took it home. Easy said, but just to be mentioned there. And then going into field battle, really risked it with the cheesy play there, but then ended up against a really professional enemy. Therefore, them reacting really good to it, just going for the A point. Therefore, yeah, buddy, not having enough people there and fighting on with less people for the point. Therefore, ending them with a negative trade, and then slowly snowballing from this first fight, taking their time, spotting Grig and Amir from the flank there. I don't know how they did it, but they were basically aware of it and then just reacted to it. Going into team stats, Mark, can you get us through it?
Let's talk it through for the final time here. And Winkroat gets your MVP for his losing side, 138 unit kills, 4 hero kills. That's the most hero kills and the most unit kills in the battle. The rest of the team is not really managing to get the same numbers. Babylon gets 121 unit kills, and then behind him is Atomic Jam with 102. Overall, Keen Jade and Amir finding 3 hero kills apiece. But really, overall, the flanks in the such like from Gurk and Amir were obviously spotted out. It wasn't working out for them. They couldn't get any tech progression. They couldn't sneakily capture home point and throw them in the dust. But unfortunate for them, ZT will come your victors, and on their side, you see their MVP getting 4 hero kills, 99 unit kills. KZ gets 118 unit kills. That's one of the most that is the most in his side. And ZT once again with the Joe Blade finding 7 hero kills in that battle, the Scimitar class, not far behind them with 6 hero kills along the way. And they were finding 107 and 109 unit kills between them as well. Phenomenal performance. We don't even really need to speak too much about that analysis in the grand scheme of things, but let's just go over to it as we see it, Bruder, because practically just spoke about where the action had that devastating amount of hero units and deaths on towards that A and home zone, where pretty much the battles commenced for the most part. And it was all well and truly done by Yanyadal, finding their trades in a better scenario than the infantry that was brought to the battle from Yeah Buddy.
Yeah. So speaking of, like I said before, was an A push or the cheesy strat going for C with some people and then going for A, basically ending up Yeah Buddy in a disadvantage fight where they bring like 10, I don't know how many heroes it was or how many units, but I guess like 10 or 11 players going straight to A, facing the whole 15 enemy squad there. They rotated from B just to A, being well aware of what's happening, therefore clapping them on A, and then Yeah Buddy decided to go again for A, also losing the fight on A with like a couple less investment for it, basically. And then it was just CT taking control over the map, or 2 points at least, and then just pushing over and over again for end cap and C, just based on the unit investment from Yeah Buddy from the beginning. In the end, holy moly, we witnessed all today. CT going 2-0, everybody being down on hope, and then going to Regionopolis, and then Yeah Buddy just showcasing what full Western strength looks like. And now CT taking it home on the last field battle. I hope for field battle in the end, it being always showcasing that it's a close matchup, which we could witness today. Therefore, I really enjoyed this match. I hope everybody had like a good experience today, and therefore a lot of fun. Maybe me yapping a little bit too much or being too excited, that's okay for my side. You gonna live with it. Mark gonna be the main caller here right now, keeping it a little bit more smooth, talking directly what's happening on the screen there. I really enjoyed today and the whole final, and therefore That's it for me. So, Mark, you have something to say in the end?
I mean, firstly, thank you all for coming involved, watching, playing, whatever part you took part in CBL 2025. We really do appreciate you all. Without you guys, it wouldn't be a tournament, that's for sure. But Conqueror Blade devs, I'm be happy that we have got another CBL under the hands, but it does go the way of the the eastern side. Unfortunately, again, we're not going to be getting that western win that we all are hoping for. But yeah, buddy, once again, I've managed to come second spot to the best, and unfortunate for them. They need to try and see if they can do it again when the next CBL comes around, whenever that may be. Really do appreciate you having me on as well. Casting, it's been a phenomenal tournament, and once again, Bruder, to cast alongside yourselves and Alpha throughout the tournament, and Yasuru at one point as well. It's been a good one. I've enjoyed every single minute. I hope you guys in chat have enjoyed it, and fingers crossed for the next one, whatever that may be. We might see the West coming out on top. But for now, and until next time, I'll catch you again very soon, brother. Peace out, and hopefully everything all goes well. Chat. He's if you might have been lucky enough this whole time to win something of treaties, at least you got something for yourself to answer to. Unfortunately for me, I didn't. Yasura even got one as well, so he got lucky himself. Damn it. But next time. But guys, we'll catch you very, very soon. Hopefully for another CBL 2026, or maybe even something different. We'll wait and see if there's something on the cards. But remember, it's the new season is just around the corner as well. See about the tier 2, or tier 3 and tier 4 units. It's a secret about the tier 5, by the way. So you're not getting to ask. We're not going to tell you anything. You're just going to keep an eye on the socials. Until next time, double pace.
Yeah.